You know, back when I was in the academy, we would follow every toast with a song. Shiri skala, shiri skala, chirka, shiri skala, it's better to have loved and lost than never to have loved at all. Come cheer up my nights, come cheer up my nights. It's better to have loved and lost. It's better to have loved and lost Captain John Picard and never to have loved at all. The Federation Starship, come cheer up my nights, come cheer up my nights. It's better to have loved and lost Captain John Picard. 1 7 3 4 6 7 3 2 1 4 7 6 Charlie 3 2 7 8 9 7 7 7 6 4 3 Tango 7 3 2 Victor 7 3 1 1 7 8 8 8 7 3 2 4 7 6 7 8 9 7 6 4 3 7 6. Lock. When I have plucked the rose, see Earl Grey hot, longing still for that which longer nurseth the disease. In faith, I do not love thee. Shall I compare thee to a summer's day? When I have plucked the rose, longing still for that which longer nurseth the disease. In faith, I do not love thee. Shall I compare thee to a summer's day? It's better to have loved and lost than never to have loved at all. Come cheer up my nights, come cheer up my nights. It's better to have loved and lost. Incredibly unbroken sentence, moving from topic to topic. No one had a chance to interrupt. It was quite hypnotic. Incredibly unbroken sentence, moving from topic to topic. No one had a chance to interrupt. It was quite hypnotic. Shiri skala, shiri skala, That's an interesting twist.
And hello, orcs and gamers. Hello, and welcome to another episode of Delicious Morning Nonsense. Hello, everyone. I'm glad you could join me today. Fantastic. Hello there. Hello. R Master DX. Hello, R Master DX. Alex H Lobo. Hello, everyone. I see the chat that some of the members are getting the orc tags now, which means that they've been part of the Lit Legion for now 2 months. I believe it's the second month tag that the second month badge you get for membership. You go from Liddy D to full blown orc. Gotta have those orcs, chat. Gotta have those orcs. So hello, Dr. Crow. Hello. The one service Tanya. Hello. And Mark in 3D. Hello, Mark in 3D. Spitfire. Hello, Spitfire. The numbers. Hello. The numbers. Burf. Good morning, people. Well, good morning to you, Burf. Hello. Hello, Zofrats. Hello. Hello, says Zofrats. Well, hello to you too, Zofrats. And Demon of Thy Sword. Good morning, says Demon of Thy Sword. Well, good morning, Demon of Thy Sword. Criminal Imagination. Hello, Criminal Imagination. Happy Monday to everyone. Happy Monday to you all. GDM, thanks for something. I don't know what but welcome JDM. Welcome to you, Scotch. Hello, Scotch. A very lovely afternoon to you, sir, in chat. Well, hello, Scotch, and very lovely afternoon to you, Scotch. Skulgar Thane. Hello, Skulgar Thane. Johan. Hello, Johan. Hello, everyone. Drake the Duelist. Hello, Chaz. Culture Learning for Make Benefit Glorious Nation of Anti-Fasten. Yeah, Chaz, you mean that new nation that has closed borders and a bunch of racism and all that stuff? Oh, fantastic! It's fantastic. They have closed borders, and what else do they have? Uh, what is it? What else? There's something else they did that they're hypocrites on. I know that closed borders is one of them. Flint Glockwood. Hello, Flint Glockwood. Hello, 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 Nexus 906. Legion can't be stopped. No, they cannot. Legion cannot be stopped. Also, for members, I don't think every member was there, but there is a private stream for members now. If you want to go check it out, it should be the link to it should be in the community tab of the Literature Devil channel. If you want to go check it out, there is a private stream for all members and subscribers. So if you're not a member on the channel, but you are subscribed to me on Subscribestar, you still get this. It's the same thing. It's the same stream. Dilematicus, hello, best chat. Well, hello, Dilematicus, and hello to you, of course, best chat. Hello, Baptist702. Let's talk some more bagel theory. Absolutely, we'll talk some more bagel theory. Cooper Weirdo, hello, Cooper Weirdo. Hello, and hello, Noble Commando. Hello to you. Lydiol, good morning. Good morning, Mimano. Good morning, Lydiol. Hello. Nuclear Catfish Gaming. Good morning, says Nuclear Catfish Gaming. Well, good morning to you. Chuck Reardon. Hello, Chuck Reardon. Good morning, Lit Dev and chat. Well, good morning to you. Oh, fantastic. And before we begin, I of course have a guest who just graciously decided to join me today. So, let's see.
This is where the fun begins.
Hello, Shiny. Welcome.
Well,
I see you probably just woke up, I guess.
no, I woke up about an hour and a half ago.
Oh, good. Awesome. Fantastic. Let's see here. What about Hail the Devil? Hello.
I'm just
what about?
tired of the nonsense already because it
hasn't even begun yet. The fun is. This is where the fun begins, Shiny. This is where the fun begins.
if that's what you want to tell yourself.
The obvious question is, why did we do this?
Oh, did you get the other one?
I have it, but I forgot to upload it. As of right now, but I do like that one. That's a stupid question. That's a stupid question too. That's a fantastic episode. It's a fantastic episode. Demon of the Sword. Hello, Demon of the Sword. Thanks for $1.99. Appreciate that. I'll hop in. Okay. Well, 1 second here. Let me get things rolling, and I'll send you the link. Fantastic. Let me see here. Okay, so we have some interesting things to go over as certain things load. Let me get this up here. So more things bend the knee to woke nonsense. So let's see here. Where is it? Here we go. Dead by Daylight. I believe it's a Resident Evil franchise. So Dead by Daylight announces diverse
Dead
sexual
by Daylight
orientation.
it's a horror game.
It's a horror game.
Mm-hmm. No, it's got like some DLC stuff, which is like some of it is Silent Hill, but Dead by Daylight is just a horror game where you have to hide from monsters.
It's the MMO. I mean, it's not the MMO, but it's the multiplayer game where some players are the survivors and the others are monsters.
Yeah.
Okay, it's that one. Well, apparently, in a survival game where you hide from a monster, they're going to somehow introduce diverse sexual orientation for future characters. How? Because I know that now that you mention it, I know that game now. Like I remember how it goes.
I have a question. How are they going to add sexual orientation to future characters when this is a game about hiding?
Yeah, there's no romance options in this game. It's all about hiding and surviving and not dying. That's kind of it. You have to restart generators. You have to run away. I think that's really all you do in that game. Run away, survive, and try to accomplish all the tasks to escape. I don't know how they're going to exactly fit in sexual orientations of characters.
It doesn't really make any sense to me. I mean, I get how you can do race and gender if you really want to do that.
Yeah, race I can get. There's black characters.
Are they just going to make like a really effeminate gay guy?
I guess so. I mean,
like
even
a really
even the
probably
redneck
offensively
race.
stereotypical.
they even have the redneck race represented in there, so I can get that.
You know what they should do is they should just get the lion. Was it the Tiger King?
Oh, you mean
Yeah,
Joe,
I mean,
Joe Exotic?
yeah, just get Joe Exotic. I mean, it's he's gay,
Yeah, he is. He doesn't look it,
so
but he is. Okay, he kind of looks it. But not that much. He's not Hollywood gay. He's like regular, normal, average man gay.
it's just part of who he is. Oh, this is the numbers just said. It'll be like Pokemon. They'll shout out their sexual orientation every 5 seconds instead of their name.
Again, this is another instance of that sounds like a joke, but I wouldn't put it past them to actually do that. Attack helicopter! Attack helicopter! So I guess the obvious question is, why did they do this? And how are they going to do this? Is another obvious question. So I guess we'll find out. Sketch Therapy, hello, Sketch Therapy, welcome. The etymologist, I remember this guy. He has great analogies. Say hello to your co-host for me. Oh well, hello to you, Shiny, from not from me, but from Sketch Therapy. Thank you much for Sketch Therapy. I'll look into that Gundam expert you mentioned, and we'll have because if we have a Gundam talk, I heard you are pretty adept in Gundam as well, Sketch Therapy. So we need to have you on too. I won't have the Gundam talk unless Sketch Therapy hops on. Let's see here. Okay, so would someone really care about the sexuality of I don't know, the soldier you shoot in like modern warfare? I don't think so.
Zofrats wants a link to the stream.
Oh, why does
They've got Demon on the Sword and for Zofrats. They're great.
Argumentation? Okay, so for Shiny Fight 2020.
The Clone Wars have begun.
The Clone Wars have. I think I got everything. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so here's how it goes. The popular asymmetrical killer. So that's it. The popular, because one player plays the monster, and the rest of the players play the survivors. I believe they have like Freddy Krueger on there also. And hello, Zofrats. Hello. You want to come on for a Shiny fight?
Yeah, I'm here to fight Shiny. He's wrong and a bully.
What? I'm not a bully. Yeah, you started this.
I'm pretty sure you added at me first yesterday.
Those are the best people.
I'm pretty sure you started this on Twitter, so and that's where everything starts, on Twitter.
Yeah, Twitter is the place to start a rebellion.
World War III is where it will start on Twitter.
Do you understand life? Do you?
Let's see here. Okay, so Dead by Daylight will definitely have more diverse characters in the future. Behavior recently announced that in the name of diversity and inclusion, it's like a He-Man shout, by the power of Grayskull, by the power of diversity and inclusion, they would be more conscious of the game's lore going forward. Oh, they're going to do lore-wise. They can't have any offensive lore in a horror game, can they? Behavior recently announced that in the game of diversity and inclusion, in the statement posted to the official Dead by Daylight Twitter, the developers explained in the past, we've mentioned that we didn't aim to give a sexual orientation to our characters. Yeah, I wonder why. Because it doesn't really matter now, does it? It doesn't really matter. I don't really care about the sexual orientation of like of slasher fodder. Doesn't really matter. The idea was to let players create their own narrative and identify themselves to the character they most relate to. You know, kind of like how Stan Lee described Spider-Man, where Spider-Man he put a mask on Spider-Man so anyone can relate to Spider-Man, and you know, you can pretty much that's why for example, a lot of characters for like young kids, a lot of them tend to be more or less asexual. Like they don't like the it's actually a trope in anime too. The chaste hero is a trope, and for that reason, they don't reveal his sexual orientation. It's not all that important. You know why? Because any viewer can look at that character and see inspiration and say, well, that guy's gay or that guy's straight. It doesn't really matter. They can put that on the character because it's not actually revealed. There's no canon there. It's like how I point out that in that book, the Gay in Space book about Yoda and stuff, that they never really actually revealed Yoda's sexuality because it didn't really matter. And because he didn't do that, he can be any sexuality. And because he can be any sexuality, it won't really hinder the people who are really obsessed with that sort of aspect to a character. And hello, Angel of Thy Sword / Demon of Thy Sword. Hello.
Why?
The obvious question is, why did we do this?
Yeah,
exactly.
I mean,
That's kind of the whole point of the show, kind of exploring why. Why do all this? Why burn down your whole ship while you're on it?
I'm just worried on how they're going to do it. Just are they going to have a symbol like this is the gay symbol, or are all the gay characters wearing a
Just
rainbow?
just wearing like a gay shirt.
Oh, that would be
Just
so
like
brilliant.
rainbow.
Having a survivor in a horror game just come in with a bright, loud rainbow.
It's like, oh look, there's a survivor over there. Let's go hack them to death. The rubs their hands together.
That's not even a mechanic. Like the players will be able to see that really easily.
I mean, remember when we used to be able to take these kinds of games seriously, like Silent Hill 2 and the Resident Evil 2 remake? What the hell is this?
I don't know. I don't even know why Dead by Daylight is even putting foot into this conversation at all. They're a horror game where one guy plays the monster and the other people play the survivors. But playing the survivors is pretty fun also, by the way. It's a pretty fun thing to do. You would think that playing the monster would be fun, but playing the survivor, that's pretty fun. And a statement posted by the official Dead by Daylight Twitter, the developers explained, in the past, we've mentioned that we didn't aim to give sexual orientation to our characters. The idea was to let players create their own narrative and identify themselves with the character they most related to. It's the way to go, because they're not actual characters. They're kind of just stand-ins. They're just fodder. They're just faces and meat bags to run around and...
I don't want to know my character's sexual preferences.
Yeah, because once they introduce this character sexual preferences, they are telling you what they are instead of what they just
It's
said.
just
you
so
tell them what they are.
stupid. Like, the character just looks at the screen like, by the way, I'm gay. It's like, all right, I don't care.
The only way you can see
It's
that
like-
happening is by wardrobe choices.
It's like Doctor Who, where they've got a character who pretty much says, like, I'm gay every fucking 5 minutes.
You mean Bill?
Yep.
I don't know why they named her Bill. Not every gay woman has a man's name. Like it's in fact it's kind of rare. It's kind of rare.
Her name is Bill?
Yeah, there's a character in Doctor Who named Bill.
That's fantastic.
This to show you this so they can emphasize how not straight she is. She's not even that great of a character. She's kind of annoying. And in fact, most of his companions are kind of annoying.
But they don't know how to write gay people anymore. Like, I mean, I'm pretty sure Jack Harkness was like, he just kind of did whatever he wanted.
Yeah,
He was a great character.
Yeah, Jack Harkness is awesome. I really like Jack Harkness, and he's like overtly gay.
Yeah,
his sexual orientation was only part of who he was, and he was a bit, he was open about it.
He made
That's
it
fine.
fun. It worked with Jack Harkness because he did the Milo Yiannopoulos thing. He made jokes about it, and it was it kind of incorporated his characters. So it was like
it was funny.
Remember that one part where I think in Bad Wolf, towards the end of the Bad Wolf arc, he's like, "Am I naked in front of millions of people right now?" And like, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I remember that.
Your ratings just went straight up. What a boss! What a boss!
Yeah, like that was part of the character. It was funny. Here, they're not making it like with Jack. They used it as an excuse to make the character more charming. But here, they're not using it as a tool. They're just throwing it in.
Russell T Davies knows how to write gay characters because he himself is gay.
Yeah. Davies is gay. I think he's like he even said something along the lines of being like way too hedonistic and tried to pull himself back from that. But that's why he has there's a lot of homosexual themes in some of his stories. That's why he likes Jack Harkness. He really likes the character because it's kind of like his version of the Doctor. Time traveler, handsome, very promiscuous, that sort of things. Like here's a version of the Doctor that he can do whatever he wants with.
Pretty much.
Well, the annoying part is that we can't really make fun of the gays anymore because people are so scared that it's offensive.
I know, but he made fun of himself.
Yeah, that's
does.
the
You know what I
annoying
mean?
part because of course gays want us to make fun of them. Just like I want people to make fun of Danes, and you probably want people to make fun of Americans. We want to make fun of each other. That's how we bond.
Yeah, that was back when it was easier to have a drink with somebody.
My favorite jokes are the Hispanic jokes. Those are fantastic. I love it. That's why a lot of Hispanics love George Lopez, because that's all he does. That's the whole shtick, is making fun of Hispanic culture.
Well, I remember the first time, or like one of the first times I was on like the Smudcast with everyone like Southport. We were all making jokes at each other. Like we're making jokes about Canada, we're making jokes about America, we're making jokes about the UK, all
Yeah,
making jabs at each other. That was great.
Remember how they say celebrate your differences? That's how you celebrate it, with jokes. Now, if you tell jokes, you're just trying to oppress people. Like, okay, sure. You're trying to.
Yeah, if you tried something similar about a Scottish guy, he's gonna get very upset.
What was the old saying? If we tell rape jokes, you're just encouraging rape. So if I tell fat jokes, I'm encouraging you to be fat, right? Like if I make make fun of someone for being overweight. If you tell a lot of fat jokes to someone who's overweight, that's encouraging them to be overweight. Yes, according
They
to
think that anytime
that they eat.
anytime anyone is ever included in any joke, they're somehow being shamed.
somehow.
Pretty much, that's their logic.
Let's see. Let's see here. We recognize that this no longer reflects our original position. Wait, here it is. Now that Dead by Daylight's lore is getting more and more detailed, we realize that we didn't stay true to our vision. We did set our characters' preferences in the past, notably in heterosexual relationships. Yes.
Okay.
We recognize that this no longer reflects our original positions. Like, then stop it. Like this.
What do you mean?
Why not just switch it out?
Why do you have to have a position on every political thing?
I guess
Because apparently silence is violence.
It's like Jason Voorhees just looks at the screen. By the way, I am a radical leftist. It's like, what is this? No, seriously, what is this? Like, what is immersion anymore?
I can see Jason Voorhees doing that. It just turns
It's
to the
just
screen
so stupid.
Hello, I'm Jason Bartholomew Voorhees, and I am a radical leftist.
Oh my god, that's great.
Let's see here. Okay. Make sure I got this.
Michael Myers tilts his head to the side. He's like, "Sorry, I was just thinking about my political views."
He's wearing like a Trump mask now. Let's see. I think I missed this one. Here we go. Dr. Crow. Thank you for $9.99. Dr. Crow. How about Bi-Light fix its balance instead? get the bisexual lighting in there. Bisexual lighting fixes everything.
All this. Every time people talk about bisexual lighting, it just makes me want to play Blood Dragon.
Monokuma, is that you? Yes, it is. I have Monokuma right here. Monokuma's in hell. Did you know that? He often visits. I don't think he lives here, but I think he visits quite often. I think he has like a house here or something. He got like a condo a hell condo they kind of inherited from one of his relatives, and all kinds of debt. Someone just laid him up with all kinds of debt. That's what happens in hell, though. Let's see here. Nathan Brake, thank you very much for the 5. Appreciate that. Weird tension here, but I had a dream where Robert Downey Jr. in a movie breed xenomorphs that he tried to tame like Jurassic Park. They killed him, by the way.
I mean, I would think that would be the outcome.
He's like trying to be witty about it. He's like, "All right, guys, let's talk this out."
I imagine him trying to be to like a Star-Lord from Jurassic World. Like he tries to put his hand forwards.
Yeah, that's what I was imagining the same thing. Yeah.
Let's see here. So I got this all set up. This back here. Got some good news after this one though. So brighten your day a little bit.
Oh, it's never good news for you, is it?
Oh, this one actually is good.
No, he gives good news sometimes. Sometimes.
Occasional. It can't like Bane says in the movie. You can't really crush someone unless you give them hope first. They give preferences. We recognize that this is no longer reflects our original positions. The game continues to evolve, and thanks to our precious feedback and questions regarding our character's diversity, TM, we have reviewed our plans and positions.
Seriously.
They added. The statement concluded, we see Dead by Daylight as an inclusive game, and we're always looking to improve the way we reflect those values in our game. We are now better equipped to integrate diversified identities to the game and into the lore in the future. Okay. That's a mention from the dev team. Since the game launched in 2016, Dead by Daylight was always 2016, very good year by the way. Dead by Daylight was always had backstories for its characters, but they were often brief and very vague. I think 2016, tons of celebrities died. Very good year. I'm just kidding. Oh, that's awful. For example, in The Last Breath, they introduced the nurse and Nia Carlson. Oh, I guess it's a survivor. I think the nurse is from Silent Hill. I know they eventually introduced Freddy Krueger. Freddy Krueger's in there.
Don't ruin Silent Hill.
Let's see here. Here's how they describe the nurse. A new varmint. Is Yosemite Sam doing the description? A new varmint has entered the arena. I spotted her as she.
Yeah, I think it's a bubblehead nurse.
Yeah, I think so. Clad in bandages, tell her I'm full tail case. Yeah. And here's a description of Neil Carlson. At first sight, I thought it was a cat that passed me by, but a few meters behind me, a shadow moved without sound. But yelling is not wise in this place. I have spotted her more times, but just in the peripheral. I still don't know her name, but she evades the monsters with a certain grace. Okay. As you can see, there's no indication of their sexual orientation. This trend would continue in the Spark of Madness, where they introduced the Doctor and Feng Min. Doctor, by the way, is a...
But why does it matter?
This guy.
Why does it... again, this is
Wait, so they're calling having something that doesn't involve sex a trend?
I guess so. Yeah. They're saying that
they're like, wait, you're not talking about sex? That's an interesting
non-political
trend.
Being non-political is a trend. Because of course everything's political. Obviously.
Also, these descriptions are spoken like a person that meets them. It would be so weird that he could tell that, oh, this ninja lady, she's totally into other girls.
Yeah.
I found her kissing another girl. It's
How
just
would
like,
you
that's so...
shove that in without it being weird as hell?
It takes away from the horror.
Well, yeah, because you're talking about stupid shit in comparison. Like, the whole point is it's high stakes.
Can you imagine
There's no time to talk about that.
The new description?
Intense moment trying to survive, and all of a sudden, like, as the monster, you just come across two survivors just, tugging each other.
No, this is the coming out. Like, this is their coming out story. They're like, wait, before I die, I'm gay.
And all of a sudden,
what
like,
if the monsters are gay?
rainbow beams just start shooting out of the two, and the monster just gets obliterated.
Rainbow beams. And now, look at this. Imagine the new description. At first sight, I thought it was a cat that passed me by. There's a few meters behind me, a shadow that moved without sound. But yelling is not wise in this place. I've spotted her more times, but just in the peripheral. I still don't know what her name is, but she evades the monsters with a certain grace. Also, I'm pretty sure she likes women.
That's correct, Drake the Duelist. That's correct.
I'm pretty sure she's gay.
I'm pretty sure she's gay. What does that add? What's that add in terms of gameplay? Like for that, I can say, okay, she's probably a more stealthy character. Probably doesn't have that much HP, but it's probably more stealthy. Adding in at the very end, something along the lines of, she likes women. I can tell she likes women just by looking at her grace or something like that. It's not really going to help me much. I don't really care. There's no romance option in a survival game. Not this one anyway. Drake the Duelist, I'm not even that deep into SH lore, but even I know the busty zombie nurses weren't real. They were manifestations of Sutherland's perversion. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what I heard. I haven't played Silent Hill 2.
It was very story-oriented.
I heard it was excellent.
Very, very story-oriented. They put the story first in everything.
I heard it was excellent.
It's actually been my favorite game for a long time. Specifically Silent Hill 2. I'll stop talking about it now.
Bedroom Bunny just said at Zofrats, "Don't be silly. Gays can't be monsters."
Oh, that's true.
That's true. They can only be the wise sage.
Can they be non-binary?
I could just imagine a Doctor Who episode where there's a bunch of side characters like, by the way, I'm gay. Oh my god, I'm gay too. And then Jack looks at them like, really? Like, seriously, right now?
Well, I think that would actually be canon. If they happened to be around Jack Harkness, they would be gay. Because
You know, if Jack Harkness, like even he, you know, he's known for like flirting with everyone.
well,
It's
Jack,
like, hi,
I
my name's
think it was
Captain
actually
Jack
explained.
Harkness. He's like, stop it.
I think it was actually explaining.
Yeah,
canonically.
yeah.
It's actually explaining canonically that from his time, people can they exert some
Mhm.
pheromones. That's why Yanto turned out to be
I
gay. Like he's not. Yanto wasn't gay.
I
he was
thought it was just because the way they explain it is that humanity get around. You know, because
Yeah.
obviously they're so spread out that they just take anything they can.
Yeah, and the thing is, the way that they did that, that's true. They did say that, but they said something along the lines of, or Jack Harkness, the humans of his time excrete a pheromone that just makes everyone horny. So that's why Ianto, if you watch Torchwood,
Hey.
Ianto is not gay, but he does fall in love with Jack Harkness because of these pheromones. So
Right.
even in Children of Earth, they said, "Well, you had girlfriends before. You never seemed interested in men, but you're with Jack Harkness now." It's
That
because
was
of those
funny.
pheromones.
That was funny. It was a very self-aware show. Like that one part when the main character walks in on Jack and Yanto, she's like, "Oh my god, oh my god." They're like, "What? It's no big deal." She's like, "Yes, it is." And then she walks out.
I like how he tells his sister, and he's like, "Promise not to tell anyone." He's like, "I promise." And then her husband comes in, "Hey, gay boy," all bright and loud. Nathan Brake, then which of the 5. If these are creations of mortals, it stains the beauty of this world. Thus, the wise and beautiful Zamasu shall ride the world, to rid the world of these mortals. Which one is Zamasu? Is that from Fate Stay Night? Usually, people reference Fate Stay Night because I haven't played it yet.
Actually, no, Zamasu. I'm pretty sure that's Dragon Ball Super.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. I haven't seen all Dragon Ball Super yet. And see the numbers. Silent Hill creates itself as a personal hell to whoever enters the town. For example, the nurses in Pyramid Head happened to be James's because he did a very bad thing.
Yeah, it's
I watched
supposed to
the
be a
movie.
very it's a very psychological oriented game where you're supposed to sort of examine all the fun of the game is to try and get in the protagonist's head and see
I have
what's
watched
wrong with them.
I have watched the movie Silent Hill. I own the movie Silent Hill. I kind of enjoyed it.
The movies were all right. They were
And-
all right. They
No,
were
this is
kind
the
of
first-
fan servicey, but they were all right.
The thing, but I really like the music because I learned that the band, one of the bands singing for the music, is the vocals done by Mary E. McGlynn, which is the voice actor.
Mary Elizabeth McGlynn.
Yeah, Mary Elizabeth McGlynn is the voice actress for the Major in the standalone complex of Ghost in the Shell, which is the
I didn't
series.
know
She also voices quite a few people, quite a few other people. Like, have you ever seen Dot Hack Sign? She voices the hacker Helba. Have you ever seen Roni Kenshin? She's that pirate lady. What's her name?
I
Shira.
also have Akira Yamaoka, who's been making the lyrics since I think it's been the first game.
And let's see here. What else? She doesn't play that many people, but she does play really interesting
I think
characters.
she came in like half through the series and started doing some of the music. She has a very beautiful voice.
Yeah, very good. Very good. See, Alex Halo, thank you too. There's no one in this time. I wouldn't kill Gilgamesh. Okay. But I wouldn't kill Gilgamesh either. Gilgamesh is awesome. There you go. LD's Fate reference. And there you go. Thank you very much for that, Alex Halo. Appreciate that. Sketch Therapy, you're a fan of Ghost in the Shell also?
Who isn't?
We need to get Sketch Therapy on here one day for like a Ghost in the Shell / Gundam discussion. Maybe this week. Let's see here. So, and there's a description for Faye and Ming, a young woman who surprised me the other day. Is there any... Around the girl wouldn't stop. She glanced behind her. She was off again and determined to look at her face. Important lone wolf, maybe. I'm not... Okay, so basically they're going to... I think we kind of get the gist. They're basically going to rewrite the background story and the lore of the characters so that they're gay or non-binary or whatever it
We're gonna
is.
shove that in, not because it's necessary to the story, not because it enhances the immersion, but just to be stupid.
It's because there needs to be diversity in sexual orientation, and for no other reason. That would make more sense if it was like a romance game or like or even an RPG. Like I understand why you would have that sort of thing in like maybe Dragon Age or something. But this game is just it's kind of like studying your sexual orientation of the soldiers you shoot and Call of Duty or something. You don't care.
Why are they putting Heather Mason on there now? Why? She has nothing to do with this. She's got nothing to do with it.
I don't know actually. You know what? This is also kind of like the weird decision they decided to make with Rise of Skywalker, where they just added in female stormtroopers with no fanfare. They shoot some stormtroopers and they died with a female voice. For what reason? I don't know. No reason at all. No changes. No nothing. It's just some
Obviously, just like
stormtroopers
women.
they're just women now. They're women now. They're women now. Even though they've always traditionally been men. Now they started killing stormtroopers and they died with women's voices.
Well, it would be worse if they actually made a fanfare out of it. Imagine they shoot a stormtrooper and they're like, "Oh no, that was actually a woman." That would be horrible.
No, they would have made the whole deal. It's like, you shot a woman, Poe. It's like, I did what? She's a
Cancel him.
stormtrooper.
Cancel him.
All of a sudden, they all start turning on Poe.
Make the good guys feel bad for killing the bad guys because they were women.
Hey, in all fairness, they shouldn't feel bad for killing the bad guys in this movie, the way they set it up, because Finn was a guy who escaped brainwashing, and they canonically, the stormtroopers were all child soldiers kidnapped when they were kids and brainwashed into what is effectively a cult. And then Finn is like, "Oh, I feel sorry for me. I had such a bad childhood because I was kidnapped by the First Order." And then the very next minute, they're just mowing down stormtroopers left and right with no remorse. You can't have it both ways, guys. You can't have it both. You can't introduce this complexity to the stormtrooper ranks and then still mow them down with no regret. It makes you look cruel and evil. And see, Alex,
Anakin killed younglings that easily, so why
yeah,
can't
but he was supposed to be evil. They weren't. If they were portraying Rey and Finn and Poe as evil, that would make sense. But they were the goodest good guys to every good guy. See, Alex Halo, thank you too. That's what Gilgamesh said.
All right, thanks for hitting me up, Bedroom Bunny. Now I know the bad news. Apparently, they're using this game to ruin Silent Hill.
Probably. I mean, Silent Hill's probably next on the chopping block. They're because it's popular. Not as popular as Star Wars and Star Trek, but
Just let the game die, Just let it die instead of bringing it back and ruining it.
and see, Jirodine, whatever happened to everyone being equal? The only reason to brag about your sexuality is if doing so makes me change how they interact with you, and thus they aren't equal anymore. Pretty much. They're just adding it in. I can't see anything changing in any way by changing a character's sexual orientation. Like, why do they need to take a stand in this? It doesn't make any sense. Because it's not an RPG. It's not a romance dating game or whatever it is. It's not Doki Doki Literature Club. Okay. This is a survival game. We try to outsmart and outpace the monsters. That's all it is.
And why is this journalist posting the Silent Hill characters yeah, now Pyramid Head's gonna be gay like we've all always wanted? What is this?
There's Pyramid Head. Isn't he gay?
Just look at him. That triangle, totally gay.
For God's sake.
Yeah, isn't that a thing? And there's ribbons and stuff. I don't know.
Oh, I guess he's a pulley because triangle. He probably has two partners.
The thing is, the thing about Pyramid Head that pisses me off is that he was supposed to just be in Silent Hill 2 and none of the other ones because he symbolizes specifically James Sunderland's psyche, and then they just kept throwing him in just to make a lot of money, and I mean it's just fan service now, and now they're doing this weird crap. I remember when people character development used to exist.
It used to, but now it's character development is racist now, or sexist. It depends on the character, or homophobic, or transphobic. It depends on the character that what sort of bigotry character development is.
Yeah, just pull it out of a hat. Depends on the day of the week.
Yeah, it's always bigotry though. It's always bigotry. Nerf Champion, is nothing sacred anymore? Absolutely not. Not anymore. Not in the hands of the weirdos. Let's see here. Drake the Duelist, remember that Pennywise is gay thing? I kind of do, yeah. Yeah. The Pennywise is like a... I think they wanted to claim Babadook also. That Babadook is like an awesome representation of the trans community or something. Like this, the weird monster thing. Anyway. Time for some good news. I mentioned this before, but I said I would save it for Monday. But a new creator has joined the ranks of Comicsgate.
Oh, lovely.
And I see Bane creator Graham Nolan introduces the Chenu in new Indiegogo campaign. So he's already launched his Indiegogo campaign. And even though I'm not entirely sure that he's declared Comicsgate or whatever, but he is. He already appeared on Ethan Van Sciver's stream, and if you do that, you're Comicsgate. Unless you do some egregious mea culpas, you're Comicsgate.
Adam Post, good to see you.
Hello, Adam Post. Hey, Space SpongeBob is gay. Yeah, SpongeBob. They say he's gay. I don't think he is though. I'm pretty sure he isn't.
Like he's got like the innocence of a child. I don't care about his sexual orientation. Why does his sexual orientation matter?
Well, he's a sponge. He's asexual.
For God's sake, this is such a stupid conversation.
Yep.
We have to define in stone the sexual orientation of every kid's cartoon character in the world. That's important.
For the kids.
Yeah, for the kids. For the kids.
I'm just being reminded of, I remember ages and ages ago, I watched like a Sagan and McCall video where I think it was the BBC, and they were recording a class where they were talking about like transgender and like gay people. It's like just telling it to a bunch of kids. It's like, these are fucking kids. Why the hell are you telling it to them? Like, sure, educate people in high school all you want, but these are fucking 5-year-olds. Why are you talking about to them? They don't know anything. They don't know anything about sexuality or, gender. All they know is that's a boy, that's a girl. Now I'm going to pick my nose.
Yeah.
Let's see, Maniac Man 2030. Hillenberg said SpongeBob was asexual because he's a sponge. Yeah, SpongeBob's a sponge. We've seen SpongeBob naked. He has nothing down there. He's a sponge.
What is this?
Well, Graham Nolan is the guy who created Bane creator. He created the character Bane. And Jimmy Jackson was the chief of the police in 1977, the year Massive Winter. So I guess this is describing his work, his book that he launched it. But this guy has joined Comicsgate. He created Bane. The other guy, the guy who made I think it was, I forget, it was Ben Henderson or was it what was it, Dixon? I think one of those two guys. I always get them mixed up, but one of those two guys made the storyline where Bane breaks Batman's back, and they joined Comicsgate a long time ago. This guy created Bane. Now he's on board because if you stay, the longer you stay on the mainstream, the longer you stay in DC or Marvel, the more likely you are going to be aboard that plane when it crashes into the mountain. It's careening to that place. Let's see here.
Oh my god.
Lucky Jinx, hi y'all. Oh hey, Zofast is on. Absolutely. Let's see here. But yeah, I just wanted to let everyone know. Graham Nolan, he was on EVS's stream, so he's more or less officially Comicsgate. Yeah, Chuck Dixon. That's what it is. Thank you, Adam Post. Appreciate that, Chuck Dixon. So that's good. I like that. I really like that. Now, as Shani was mentioning earlier, Canadian jokes are pretty funny.
Oh boy, what is this? What was happening?
I found a Dungeons and Dragons Canadian edition.
Oh, for God's sake!
Canadian edition. So let's see what this entails.
No, we should have had Smug Boy here for this.
I invited everyone. I don't know. I guess he's busy.
Man shorts. Tonight's session opens in the cabin of a 747 bound for Canada.
Oh, this guy. I love this channel.
Heck yeah. I'm sorry, but
It's pretty awesome.
Here we come.
Actually, I'm sorry. YYT is in Toronto. The Toronto airport code is YYZ. Like the Rush song.
I'm sorry, don't you mean YYZ?
Lance texted me YYT.
Are you sure? I could have sworn.
Fun fact about Rush, the opening sequence 5/4 time signature is actually an interpretation of the Morse code for YYZ.
Okay, then what's airport?
Lucky Jinx, you want to come on too? I can send you the invite. No problem.
Yeah, get on here.
But welcome all the same, Lucky Jinx. Welcome. Let's see here.
YYT.
St. John's International Airport in Newfoundland and Labrador.
Really? Our first time in Canada and you take us to the Rock?
We're gonna need Wikipedia.
So sorry to interrupt. Please roll perception checks, please.
13.
11.
16.
The pilot's voice fills the plane's speakers as he welcomes you to St. John's International Airport, Newfoundland and Labrador. So I guess the Maple Leafs game is out.
I can't believe we're gonna miss the game. This is the year.
Whoa, Sarah, calm down, buddy.
I'm not your buddy, guy.
This says that the first
your
order
guy,
of
pal?
business for non-newfies should be to go over to St. George Street and get screeched in.
Well, that sounds ominous.
It's a traditional drinking ceremony the locals use to initiate outsiders. Apparently you have to kiss a cod.
I'm not kissing a fish. But a Canadian bar means we can at least watch the Leafs game. Let's go.
It's safe to say that you successfully navigate your way to St. George's Street, where you now stand in front of Christian's Bar. That reminds me, it's December. Give me survival checks.
The survival
18.
checks.
15.
10.
Waylon, a chill gust of wind rushes over you and nips your nose. Take 3 damage.
Guys, maybe we should go inside.
I'm going in. The puck dropped like 10 minutes ago.
As the 3 of you approach the bar, you see that a woman outside is holding the front door open, and inside the bar, there's another woman also holding the door. You can tell that they're having some sort of an exchange, but you're not able to make out what they're saying.
Hold on.
Is it an exchange of sorry?
Sorry.
Sorry.
Are they having a conversation or an argument?
Give me a sense motive check.
22.
It's a little of both. The interaction itself is extremely friendly, but based on the gesticulations, it appears that each woman is insisting the other go first.
It's like
They're having an argument on who should go first. They're having an argument because both are way too polite. Wow, that's pretty.
You see, I know the perfect way to solve this problem.
Go inside.
Yes.
Someone take the initiative and just go inside already. Just do your shopping or whatever it is.
Just push back.
Rude, Johnny. I think that's what a rude person would do. Have to wait for the other person.
Look, if you're just gonna wait there for the other person, and they're also waiting for you, that's just wasting time.
Take out your gun and force the other person inside. You get inside, I'll shoot you. That'll get him in. That'll get him in there. That'll solve your problem too.
No, this
the
is
American
Canada
way.
Guns.
The American way. Just solve problems the American way. It always gets things done.
like a Canadian standoff.
A do what now?
Legend has it that when 2 Canadians cross paths, time stops and all that matters is etiquette.
Let's just go in. If we wait this out, Waylon's gonna freeze to death.
Time
Upon
stops.
entering, a large man behind the bar notices you. What do you say, boy? How'd you get on, boy?
What?
Is he speaking French?
No, he's speaking English.
Television, Maple Leafs.
Oh, my nerves, Lord. Jeez, couple of CFAs. There you go on, boy. Where are you at?
This is it?
Lance, when you say this, the man beams. Aye, boy, you must be looking to get screeched in. Stay where you're at, I'll come where you're too.
Was that a good thing that just happened?
I think so.
I got a 24 to search. Is there a TV in here?
Yes, Sarah, you can go watch the game.
Go Leafs, go!
Waylon, Lance, the bartender has made his way around to your end of the bar. He's got a bottle of Screech rum, 2 shot glasses, and a frozen codfish.
Okay. He's gonna ask us if we're screechers, and we have to say this.
Seriously?
Are ye screechers?
Deed I is. Me old cock, and long may your big jib draw.
Deed I is, me old cock, and long may your big jib draw.
It sounds wrong.
Yeah.
Upon kissing the cod, you are officially screeched in. So what part of Canada do you want to see next?
That was great. I think there's like 7 of these. A Canadian edition.
God.
Jesus.
There's also a Florida edition too.
Is that where everyone just gets shot?
Which is fantastic. I think let me find it real quick.
No, I think that would be Los Angeles edition, Shiny.
With Florida and Florida Man, he gets up to some weird stuff.
We need a Chaz edition.
We need a Yorkshire edition, which is for pretty much everyone just yelling and screaming at each other. Really. What, you wanker?
Let's see here. I found it. Check out the Florida edition, and then we'll move on. Is it Florida edition? This should be pretty good. The ever wonderful Florida Man comes from Florida. Did you know that?
Shorts.
Okay. I really didn't want to do this,
Did
but
you see that? Everything that we see in this game is going to be based off of actual events that actually happened in Florida.
That's fantastic.
So it's going to be awesome. None of this is going to be exaggerated. It's going to be based off of actual events they found in Florida. So this is going to be awesome.
here we are. A hurricane is projected to hit Florida within the next few days. What are you going to do to prepare?
Well, today's a big day for me. I'm renewing my wedding vows with my husband, Bruce. He's a Ferris wheel.
You're married to a Ferris wheel.
We're bound by flesh and steel.
Great. So Sarah is marrying carnival rides. What are you doing, Waylon?
I'm gonna finish spreading my wife's ashes. I've been taking her to places that meant a lot to us.
Where are you spreading them today?
Lens Crafters.
Wonderful. Lance.
I am
Lens
calling
Crafters.
911 to report the
And sprayed my wife's ashes. Oh, cool. Where are you spraying them today? Well, Lens Crafters, obviously. That's so. Where else would you spread ashes around? Other than Lens Crafters.
local strip club.
Why is that?
They would not let me bring Princess Sparkles, my kitty, inside.
Everybody roll reality checks. Subtract 5 from your roll.
4.
6.
1.
Lance, the strip club is not obligated to let your cat inside.
This is an outrage.
Sarah, you can't marry a Ferris wheel.
That's fine. I'm actually driving home now. And while I'm driving, I'm going to shave my bikini line just to save time.
You're shaving your crotch while you drive.
Oh, it's no big deal. My ex-husband is steering from the back seat.
Roll a reflex save. -5 for being an idiot. You know what? Just take 10 damage. You cause an accident. Waylon, you've been kicked out of the Lens Crafters for spreading ashes all over the place, and they're shutting the mall down because it's an unknown white powder.
Okay. Well, I'm just gonna go rob this gas station.
Just imagine the manager comes out like, "Listen, what are you doing?"
This is shoveling ashes all over some guy's store. My wife loved Lens Crafters. Let me go ahead and get this back up here. 1 second. We get up. Make sure it's good to go. See, Florida edition. I got something to play internet gas. So let's check this out.
And they're shutting the mall down because it's an unknown white powder.
Okay. Well, I'm just gonna go rob this gas station with a cattle prod.
Well, if I can't spread my wife's ashes in some guy's store, I guess I'll just rob this gas station with a cattle prod. That's the most Florida thing I've heard yet.
Okay, in a state where they have guns, you're gonna use a cattle prod.
I guess he
Right.
must be a felon. Not too out of the ordinary in Florida, I guess.
You got a 9 on my intimidate check.
The gas station attendant is not intimidated by your cattle prod. She calls the police.
Well, gosh.
Okay, Lance, what are you doing?
I rolled a 10 on my search check. I'm trying to find my mac and cheese.
Okay, your brother decides to help you look for it, and while the two of you are looking for it, he knocks over your beer.
I stab him.
Okay, that's the most Florida thing I've heard yet. So while looking for his mac and cheese, his brother actually knocks over his beer, and he stabs him.
How dare you? I was eating those beans.
That escalated quickly.
I was eating those beans.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Well, you shouldn't cry over spilt beer, obviously.
Yeah, you should stab people instead. No. Double click. Double click. There we go.
He spilled my beer, so I'm gonna stab him.
He's your brother, Lance.
I don't care. I got a 15 on my attack.
Fine, why not? You successfully stab your brother for spilling your beer.
I gotta stop by my girlfriend's house before the cops show up.
She locks you out. You can't get in.
Then I'm going in through the cat door.
Roll a fort save.
8.
You die. Sarah, what do you want to do now that you've wrecked your car?
I want to go.
Go into the cat door. Roll. You die. What a pathetic death that would be. Is try to get into your girlfriend's cat door.
I love this running joke. How just done the dungeon master is. He's just not having it. He's like, you know what? You're dead.
He had an entire plot set up with something about a hurricane, and they're just messing around, dying in cat doors.
Stabbing their brothers because they spilt their beer, searching for their guilty sandwiches.
He's just completely fed up.
I mean, this is your average D&D campaign. You know,
Over
you
the
need to
guy
actually
spreading the ashes. Like the manager just comes out. What are you doing?
Robbing stores with cattle prods, you know, the same old thing. So there's a hurricane coming. You forgot all about the hurricane.
I'm gonna marry a Ferris wheel.
The hurricane is the most mundane thing that's going on.
Why
in
do I
this
get the
campaign.
feeling that all the people are dressed as the people they're portraying?
They probably are. It's a kind of Florida man attire.
Go home, get drunk, and listen to my Rihanna CD.
Great. Roll a move silently check.
3.
Your daughter seems to think that the music is too loud. She removes the CD from the CD player.
I got a 17 on my attack.
You're attacking your daughter for turning off a Rihanna CD.
Yeah, I'm gonna bite her on the leg.
Bite her on the leg.
Waylon, the police have arrived. Is there anything that you'd like to say before they take you in?
Because he robbed the store with a cattle prod, so the police are after him now too.
Nope.
Thank God.
But I'm gonna pull out my dick. I got a 20.
Wow.
As you do.
So, in addition to armed robbery, you're also being charged with indecent exposure. You're a sex offender.
For what? I was just airing out my penis, man.
You see? This is why I don't want to play this shit. This happens every time. We're never playing this again. I hate
Florida Edition Part 2.
So you want to watch Florida Edition Part 2, or you want to move on?
Temptation is strong.
The Florida Edition Part 2, or you want to move on? I hate this game. Never gonna play it again.
I'm fine with either, to be honest.
Yeah, me too, but I do like these videos.
I like the Dungeon Master says, never gonna play this again. I hate this game. Florida Edition Part 2.
He's gonna be even more fed up here.
Okay, why not? Go ahead and set it up here. Make sure it's good to go.
Chat wants part 2. We have to do what chat says.
Gotta do what best chat wants. That's what we have to do. Best chat. Best chat did text what we do. Let's see here. So it's about 4 minutes, not that long. We'll watch this one and then we'll move on.
I'm kind of tempted just to search Florida Man now for just because of all the stupid articles you're probably gonna get. That would be
Oh, you
hilarious.
will get some really strange articles if you do that. Let's see. So part 2. Let's check this out.
Swore that I would never do this again, but I guess I kind of owe you guys after last week, so let's get it over with.
I would like to start the day with a good breakfast.
Okay, that seems pretty normal. What are you gonna do?
In the street.
I'm sorry?
That's right.
In the street.
I would like to make some.
I'm
He
sorry.
just silently
That was
gets
America.
up and walks out right there. Just
I'm
silently gets up and leaves.
It's like that South Park episode where Stan's dad's like, "I'm sorry, I thought it was America. This is America." Like he's just fighting other people in the stands while he watches his son play sports. And he has to get drunk and fight other dads while drunk. He's like, "I'm sorry, I thought this was America." Or he's getting arrested. It's like, so eating breakfast in the middle of the street, it will end up with you getting arrested and him shouting, "I'm sorry, I thought this was America."
Pancakes, set up a table in the middle of the road, and then
What?
eat them in the street.
Make a reflex save.
You get hit by a car.
15.
Luckily for you, you didn't get hit by any cars, but you have been charged with obstructing traffic.
That was worth it.
Sarah, what you got?
Well,
It was worth getting charged with obstructing traffic, just so you can eat breakfast in the middle of the street.
Why not just do it in your garden? I don't know if he has a garden. Do it on
Why
the
was it
sidewalk,
worth
on the path.
Why was it worth it? What did you get out of it other than eating breakfast in the middle of the street?
I've been drinking for a while, and so I don't really feel like driving. I'm gonna call 911.
Let me guess. This isn't an emergency.
Hell yeah, it's an emergency. I need cigarettes and chicken wings.
Roll a percentile.
27.
Yeah, the police are on their way to arrest you for misusing the emergency system. Waylon, what's up?
Oh, my neighbor's dog's been pooping on my lawn, so I'm gonna go do something about it.
Fine. You approach your neighbor's house. He's watering his lawn. Hey, neighbor, how's it going?
I'm gonna shoot him in the leg. An 18 hit his 8.
Hey neighbor, how's it going? I'm gonna shoot him in the leg. That's pretty Florida.
See?
Sure. Did you want to do anything else?
I shoot him in the hand.
This is a dumpster fire. Lance?
It's lunchtime. I'm going to Dave Thomas's daughter's.
Are you going through the drive-thru or are you going inside?
I just need to go to the drive-thru. I'm just gonna get a drink. I rolled a 17 on my strength check.
For what?
Oh, to throw my alligator through the window.
His
I'm not
alligator.
even gonna ask. You successfully throw the alligator through the window. Sarah?
I'm going to my grandma's.
Oh, well, that's nice of you.
I'm not even going to ask. I'm just assuming you have an alligator. So you successfully throw your alligator through the window.
Change of things.
20. I slap her.
What?
20. I slap her again.
Why are you slapping her?
Nat 20. I slap her again.
Stop slapping her. Why would you attack your own grandmother?
She didn't accept my friend request on Facebook.
Waylon, please tell me that you're not doing
I'm robbing a house. I got a 21 total to move silently.
Great. You successfully infiltrate the house and thieve the whole place.
Well, that couch looks mighty comfy. I think I might have a nap.
In the house that you just robbed.
I'm tired.
All right. We need to wrap up this insanity, please.
I'm running from the police. I'm doing 110 on I-95 North.
110.
Semi-truck driving in front of you jackknifes, overturns, and spills 60,000 gallons of beer all over the highway. You're forced to stop. The police officers remove you from the vehicle and begin to search you.
Well, that's not necessary. See, I'm naked.
Sarah, you're up.
I'm robbing banks.
Why?
Well, I'm using the money for my daughter's graduation party. If I use a full round action, can I rob them faster?
Sure. You robbed 3 banks in half an hour. Waylon, since you fell asleep on your burglary victim's couch, it was pretty easy for the police to apprehend you.
Whatever.
While you're being processed, the police ask you if you have any other aliases.
Dickface Johnson.
Great. You know what? You guys, I'll be in my room. Just let yourselves out.
I'm robbing banks. Why? Using money for my daughter's graduation. Obviously. As
I like how done he was at India. Yeah, sure, you rob 3 banks. I don't care.
You robbed 3 banks in half an hour. Why not? And since you fell asleep on the couch of the house you robbed, it's pretty easy for the police to apprehend you. And so the police are searching you, and no need. He's naked. After he threw his alligator through a window.
Somehow I can't believe this is real stories, but
On the other hand, this is Florida.
It's real in Florida. And see, so the goddess of the SJWs, the old goddess, she's kind of the Cthulhu of SJWs, because she's the old god. She's the old pope, the old messiah. She has since fallen from grace. She's since become the devil, the Satan of SJWs.
Okay, so she made Dumbledore gay, and what was it? Fucking Ronald Fuckwit Weasley black, and another character to say, after the fact, and now she draws the line at defending biological sex.
Yes, he says she respects everyone, but the thing is, women are women. That's what she says. That's what her whole stance is, and everyone has been coming out against her. They try to cancel her so many times. But the thing is, she's like a billionaire, so
this is still escalating. Didn't this happen like 6 months ago?
No, it keeps on going. She's not taking it. She's not taking it. She's saying, you know what? I'm not taking it anymore. These are my beliefs. I don't care what you say. She's like mocking him now. So
I have a question.
Yeah.
How are they going to cancel her when she could publish her own books?
They can't.
Pretty easily.
They can't cancel her. They could try, but they really can't. The only thing the only thing they can really do in the end is like cancel any kind of like Hollywood deals they have with her.
Mm-hmm.
Like, Hollywood can start rejecting her, and mainstream media can start rejecting her because she has wrongthink. But then again, she's already a billionaire. She has all these properties and side projects and things that she's getting tons and tons of money from. So even if they cancel her, she's pretty well off. She's pretty well off. So let's see here. So GLAAD campaigns to cancel Harry Potter author J.K. Rowling for defending biological sex. A thing that's kind of common sense. She defended it, so therefore she needs to be ruined. Harry Potter author J.K. Rowling recently defended biological sex in a series of tweets, and now lobby an activist group GLAAD is demanding she be cancelled. Rowling posted to Twitter, "If sex isn't real, there's no same-sex attraction. If sex isn't real, the lived reality of women globally is erased. I know and love trans people, but erasing the concept of sex removes the ability of many to meaningfully discuss their lives. This isn't hate to speak the truth." Everyone has gone so crazy, so woke, that J.K. Rowling is too conservative for them now. She's
anything anything left, sorry, anything right of like the furthest of the left is like obviously just straight up terrible.
This Nazi propaganda, chat.
Again, I'm a centrist, and I'm considered a horrible person in these people's eyes.
Pretty sure they would consider Karl Marx a Nazi at this point, like a hardcore Nazi.
Mm-hmm.
There's Medai Moody, for some reason. She added, the idea that women like me, who've been empathetic to trans people for decades, feeling kinship because they're vulnerable to the same way as in the same way as women, i.e., to male violence, hate trans people because they think sex is real and has lived experiences is a nonsense. She's still woke, just not woke enough. She can't step in line with party doctrine. She concluded, I respect every trans person's right to live any way that feels authentic and comfortable to them. I'd march with you if you were discriminated against on the basis of being trans. At the same time, my life has been shaped by being female. I do not believe it's hateful to say so. So GLAAD targets J.K. Rowling for cancellation. And in response to these tweets, GLAAD demanded Rowling be cancelled. GLAAD's head of celebrity talent... oh, that's right. I think they're some sort of guild. Talent Anthony Ramos spoke to Variety demanding Warner Brothers and others who work with Rowling to issue statements contrary to her. Ramos stated J.K. Rowling proactively spreads misinformation and has refused conversations with LGBTQ leaders who merely want to have a dialogue and let her know the negative impact that these tweets have. Yeah, there's a Harry Potter screaming because I think Daniel Radcliffe did a mandatory demonization of J.K. Rowling. Let's see here. Daniel Lindsay? No, they worship socialism, so they wouldn't care about Karl Marx. He is their god. So they wouldn't care about Karl Marx. Okay.
You know, I'm kind of glad we covered something fun before this.
A little up and a little down. A little up and a little down. That's kind of like a, as you say, an emotional roller coaster, that sort of thing.
I kind of wish that it would explain what is so terrible about her tweets. Kind of confused.
That they exist. Can exist. I think they would argue that the existence of her tweets is literally killing people.
It's violence.
It's violence. Her speech is violence. However, their violence is speech.
It's violent to speak. It's violent to not speak. It's not violent to punch someone in the face who you disagree with.
Everything's violence. Everything's violence, and you have to point it all out.
Except canceling people, I guess. That's not violent.
That's speech.
Yeah,
that's speech.
Attempting to ruin people's livelihoods. That's not violence.
It's totally speech. A generation raised on J.K. Rowling's own books about embracing differences is now making their voices loud and clear. And if she refuses dialogue, then companies that partner with her should tell the community where they stand. Ramos continued. Ramos then concluded, studios, networks, and brands affiliated with J.K. Rowling owe it to their transgender employees and consumers to speak out against her inaccurate, hurtful comments. What's inaccurate about them? Are you denying the fact that she spent her life as a woman? Are you kind of denying the fact that she was influenced throughout her life by being a woman?
You should be by now. It's completely subjective.
Yeah, it's like everything else. Everything's subjective.
Just a question from someone who lives under a fucking rock. What is GLAAD?
I think it's some sort of guild, sort of actress guild or something. Let's see here. Inaccurate and hurtful comments. This isn't the first time GLAAD has come out against Rowling. Earlier this month, the official Twitter account accused Rowling of targeting trans people, as you do. They posted, J.K. Rowling continues to align herself with her ideology which willfully distorts facts about gender identity and people who are trans. In 2020, there is no excuse for targeting trans people. Yeah, she's totally targeting trans people with the words like, I don't know, I'd march with you if you were discriminated against on the basis of being trans. Targeting trans people right there. Take that. Curse you, J.K. Rowling. Curse you. How dare you say that you would march with trans people if they were discriminated against? What a horrible human being. According to GLAAD.
You have no brain.
I'm just not saying anything because I have nothing to offer here. It just speaks for itself.
Yeah, it's so silly. It's just so out there because she's saying that trans women was not born women and how dare she? But it's just like, can we just admit that they were born men and then they want to become women and that's okay? Why is it so bad that they were born men?
It's evil, apparently.
Well, how can you treat them as a protected class if you don't acknowledge their differences?
Do you understand life? Do you?
Alright, that's a good one. That's a good one.
No, they don't, though. They don't understand life. They understand tweets. They understand safe spaces. Let's see here. The GLAAD says we stand with trans youth, especially those Harry Potter fans, hurt by her inaccurate and cruel tweets. Well, how are they inaccurate? What part of J.K. Rowling's personal experience is inaccurate? That's what her tweets consisted of. Her personal experiences.
And words are violence because we're sorry if she hurt your fifis.
That's violence. They're literally killing people. Her words are literally killing people. If the wrong person hears those words, they just instantly drop.
Yeah, these people can talk about shooting Trump in the head, and that's all right. But you say they're, you say one thing, and they're like, "Oh, you're evil." Then you're the one that's wrong. I mean, you can talk about shooting people in the head. You're not worried about feelings then.
Trump doesn't have feelings.
These are the people who applauded Kathy Griffin when she lifted Trump's severed head as a comedy skit. When they're talking about a few words promoting violence. Sure. Okay. GLAAD previously targeted Rowling back in 2019. J.K. Rowling has aligned herself with anti-science ideology. She's defending biological sex and she's anti-science. Okay. How?
I would like to see this science, please.
Yeah. How is she anti-science? How is defending literal science anti-science? And denies the basic humanity of people who are transgender. They added, trans and non-binary people are not a threat to women, and to imply otherwise puts trans people at risk. Who are you talking to?
Who are you talking about?
She said none of these things. She basically said, I will march with trans people if they are being discriminated against on the basis of being trans. She said nothing about any of this stuff. She's just talking about nobody. Just addressing some sort of straw man or something.
Sounds to me like it's just the bandwagon to be attacking her right now. I mean, look, I think she's done some stupid stuff, like with Harry Potter, like retconning it and stuff and saying weird stuff, but, I mean, I wouldn't want to cancel her over it. I would just be like, alright, everybody, let's, maybe stop talking to her, because she's just getting weird, but I wouldn't do this.
The last thing I heard about J.K. Rowling was that she was really big on, you have to house refugees, and then, what's his name? Paul Watson or whatever his name is, said, "Hey, why don't you have mansions? Why don't you shack up with some of these people?" And she goes, "No." She refuses to, because she doesn't want those people in her house, and she has huge mansions. So, why is it the elite can say no, but apparently the rest of us must do so?
Yeah.
And then she disappeared from Twitter for a few days.
Did someone say hypocrite?
Pretty much. But then again, she was the queen of the SJWs for a while, so you can't really be in that high level of SJW society and not be a hypocrite. It's kind of the basis of being one in the first place. It's being a hypocrite.
Well, because of course it is, because they attack breathing. Of course you're going to be a hypocrite at some point.
Breathing is racist.
They attack breathing.
Oh, this isn't a long article. I guess she did something really, really bad. Basically, they just want to cancel her. They essentially want to cancel her. So according to this, defending biological sex. Bad J.K. Rowling, I guess.
Bad anti-science.
Defending science is anti-science now. But here's what J.K. Rowling is really known for these days.
Oh boy.
You read my book?
Yeah, why?
Hey, you know Hagrid?
Yeah.
He's actually transgender.
What?
Yeah, he used to go by Hagrid, but now he's transgender.
Okay.
Hermione's in a wheelchair.
What are you saying?
Hermione Granger? Yeah, she was actually in a wheelchair the whole time.
No, she wasn't. I remember
Doesn't even
multiple
make any
scenes where she
sense.
was running around and you never mentioned a wheelchair once.
Well, I just forgot to write it down, but I meant it in my heart.
How could you forget a detail like that?
Hey, don't blame me. Do you even know how many things I had to remember for those books? You know how many spells I had to write? Like, so many. I can't remember everything.
I don't know.
Ron was actually black.
You said he had red hair.
Harry Potter had Down syndrome.
What? What does that even mean?
Professor Snape was a single mother.
Alright, stop! Stop! Why are you doing this?
Doing what?
Listen, it would be fine if the characters were like this originally, but it seems like you're changing them after the fact so you could seem more inclusive and get good press.
Okay, I'm sorry, I'll stop.
Okay. Thank you.
Wait, just one more thing?
What is it?
Guess which character's actually gay?
What?
I said guess which character's actually gay?
I don't know.
All of them?
Why is he dressed like Luigi?
That's fantastic. Fantastic stuff. Let's see here. So, let's see. What else we have here? What else we have? Oh, so how about some good news? How about some good news? Some catharsis here. Got a Doomcock video called "CBS is freaking out over the state of Star Trek."
They should be.
Yeah, they should be. So that's good. That's good. I like that. I like seeing this stuff. So let's see. Let's see what he has to say. He was in Doomcock was pretty good last time. Hello, my friends.
Hail YouTube, Dominions, Doomentites, and Archvillains. Thank you all for supporting me in my effort to save pop culture. And I would ask you please make sure you are still subbed, turn on your notification bell, and if you are not subscribed, please consider doing so. This channel could use your support. Thank you, and enjoy this video. Greetings, my friends. I am Dictor Van Doomcock, the future ruler of Earth, and I have been sent some information that may spell a glimmer of hope for the Star Trek franchise. As you know, once upon a time, Star Trek went boldly where no show had gone before, presenting a bright, shining vision of an optimistic future for mankind. Unfortunate.
Yeah, that's why we like Star Trek, because it had a positive message, and it spread the ideals of what Gene Roddenberry put forth. So, togetherness, teamwork, peace, understanding, good, strong morals, doing the right thing. That's what kind of like we like Star Trek. You go to Star Trek for that sort of thing. You go to Star Wars for space adventure and space wizards, obviously, and you go to Star Trek for these ideas of humanity, because it's humanity dealing with aliens now, and it's humanity trying to teach aliens its ideas and its enlightenment. Because while Earth may have reached enlightenment, or Earth may have reached total peace and gotten rid of all our problems, the rest of the galaxy, the galaxy has not. See, DJM voices, Distinguished 5. One thing I don't understand: SJW's men are supposed to be the worst thing ever. Yet, if you chose to become one, knowing that, somehow you're fine. Yeah, it's you get a free pass. If you choose to become a man, somehow you are okay.
Then you already got some privilege, baggage.
Yeah, pretty much.
You need them victim points.
Yeah, I think that's what the difference is between a normal man and a trans man. Is that a normal man does not have victim points with him. You don't have enough anyway.
You have to throw the victim card down once in a while. Like, oh no, it was so hard. I was not born this way. Poor me.
Yeah, I guess if you're a trans man, you get like a victim platinum card or something. If you're just a regular man, you don't get any sort of victim card. You can't qualify.
It's so stupid. They think that treating people the same, treating people equally, is a problem. They think you're a racist if you don't see nothing but race. You're a sexist if you don't see nothing but gender. They think that everyone just has. They think everybody's just as much as they are.
I literally saw an argument that says if you are colorblind, if you don't see race, like if you don't consider race, then you're racist. If you don't consider race, so if you don't acknowledge people's differences in race and you don't treat them differently, then you're racist.
I know. It's funny though, because that not only, like, the definition of racism and prejudice, it's to believe that one is superior to the other. And wasn't segregation pretty much that, because separate but equal couldn't inherently be equal? And they're like trying to bring that back. They're trying to bring that back, chat. You understand?
Lucky Jinx, I feel like inserting a VHS tape into his mouth. I never noticed that before, because it's kind of look like a VCR.
Yeah. But that's the thing. They're trying to bring that kind of stuff back, dividing people by classing them based on these categories of ethnicity and gender. And it's going to result in inherently unequal treatment. I just don't understand how that makes any sense unless they have some kind of ulterior motive or they're insane.
I just think that they think that this time will be different.
I suspect that some of these people have ulterior motives and that others are just insane.
Or both. They're really insane with their interior motives. Let's see what he has to say.
Alex Kurtzman didn't much care for that vision. And so, over the course of 3 seasons of 2 series, along with a bunch of other phony announcements of series and movies that will never happen, Star Trek has become a twisted and hideous mockery of everything it once stood for, with sonar in space for dummies, severed baby heads for sickos, and F-bombs for those with the attention spans of severed baby heads. I have never personally seen
the sheer fucking hubris. It's F-bombs everywhere. F-bombs for everyone. It's like Star Trek Picard is like the Oprah of F-bombs. You get an F-bomb. You get an F-bomb.
I mean, it's like they have no class. It doesn't suit the characters. They're establishing this isn't Star Trek culture. This isn't how the people that are on the Starship Enterprise act. The people in this social situation, they don't act this way. They're very sophisticated. They use very specific language. They communicate in a more professional manner. And these people don't know how to take anything seriously. They want everything to be a joke. They want everything to appeal to 16-year-old girls.
They don't know how to be professional. That's not part of the SJW NPC ethic. They don't know what professionalism is.
Well, they only want to attract the subpopulation of 16-year-old girls that buy tickets with their friends to go see movies, and that's the only subpopulation they're interested in. That or just radical nutjob 45-year-old feminists.
Let's see here. 1 second here. Look at this.
I feel stupid just for having an opinion about this.
Here we go. He's back up here. Back up and running. There we go. Almost there, chat. Almost there.
Let's see. Christopher Cole has a comment here. SJWs can't exist, can't live in a world where hatred isn't prevalent and permeates everything. To actually be without hate would take away their essence, their very reason for existing. Pretty much.
They're part of the dark side then.
Yeah.
Hate leads to social justice.
But do you ever feel that way, Devil, where you're looking at this stuff
Why
and
did we watch
start
season
to feel
2 of Star Trek
stupid for having
Discovery?
an opinion about it? You start to feel like you're losing brain cells just analyzing it.
Severed baby heads for sickos.
Yeah, that's kind of their whole thing. They want to drive you crazy with their nonsense. And then they say, no, and then they gaslight. So that's the next thing they do is gaslight. So if you bring up the idea, it starts saying, no, you're just crazy. You're just, first of all, you're racist or whatever it is. And then it's like, you're crazy. What about this, this, and this? You weren't upset when this happened. And it's obviously totally different. The circumstances and the context are completely different. but they push it forward as if they're not.
And the
Kind
thing
of
is,
create
like
context.
the discussions that we've had on topics such as the Killing Joke, for example, and the potential meanings behind some of the plot points in there, those are such meaningful discussions. They're such scholarly discussions, and then these people are talking about what? They're talking about why their broomstick should have a sexuality or something.
Oh, now they should. See, Bedroom Bunny says that would I get banned for or judged for saying Dr. Alpha looks daddy AF? Not here. Not here, you wouldn't. Not
Like,
here, chat.
that's the thing, though. Like, look at this from your point of view, Devil. Imagine in the middle of the plot, their idea of character development is if mid-plot, Dr. Alpha just dropped everything and started having gay sex. Mid-plot. Well, it's true.
Well,
It's-
you know.
That's what this is. That's what they want. They just want every character, no matter what the plot is. You're in the middle of Shawshank Redemption, and just out of nowhere, Andy Dufresne drops everything and starts having gay sex.
Oh, who says he doesn't? You.
Seriously. It's just
I mean,
so
you seem to
stupid.
care very much. So why do you care about what these fools are walking
They're
around?
taking, but it's just so disturbing that these people have the influence that they do when they're entering this sophisticated medium and they're talking about characters basically just dropping everything and having gay sex.
Yeah, well, there's no use just getting upset about it and feel like you're getting stupid. Just you have to fight it. Create your own. You fight them by making good stories.
Yeah, we're going to replace them. We're going to replace them. We're going to watch them burn, and then as soon as they're gone, we're just going to step in and replace them. And things like that are happening.
Like if I have my character walk through a door, I need to have I'll start to think about why that may have been a bad decision. They're just like these people are impulsive as hell. They're like, I will write 6 pages of gay sex, and if I regret it later, that's okay. I'll just write more gay sex later. It's like, what is this? What is this?
Well, you just have to believe that the world can see through their bad storytelling, that they will crash and burn at some point.
Yeah,
Well,
they
it
will.
certainly seems
They
that way.
usually do. They usually do crash and burn. with
You know what it
their
is? You know what it is?
storytelling.
You know what? Let me think on this because I want to say it right. Go ahead and read Nathan Brake's comment here.
See, Nathan Brake, thank you much for the 10. The ideology derives from communism slash Marxism doctrine. McCarthy didn't actually get rid of the commies. They are deep in our institutions now. They kind of are. I mean, there's a lot of professors and the like them who are openly communist. I mean, it's not like it's a conspiracy theory or conjecture. There's a lot of professors and stuff that I say that they are Marxist communists or socialists or something.
Okay, I think I got what I want to say now. I'm just thinking on it. I should have written it down, but it's okay. I'm just going to wing it. So, I think that the way these people function is that if they can, because they get themselves inserted into things like Star Wars and Star Trek and all that. They get their name on it, and now they're like, okay, I can basically do whatever I want now. And rather than attempt to increase the audience, they actually attempt to actively remove subpopulations of people from it for obvious reasons. We know why they do it, because they're nuts. But the thing is, it seems like it doesn't bother them to lose money so long as it doesn't alter how they live their daily life. As long as they can live their daily life and quote unquote smash that patriarchy, then they don't have to worry about the company losing money, because they don't care about the company. They don't care about the people. They don't care about anyone but themselves. So as long as them as an individual don't have to change their daily lifestyle, they're okay if Star Trek and Star Wars lose money. That doesn't bother them. But when it gets to the point when it starts to be a problem, then suddenly they come crawling back. And that's what happened with the comics industry. They weren't worried about losing worried about losing fans until it began to affect them.
Yeah,
Then
suddenly
they came back.
COVID-19, they were really freaking out about that because they weren't immune from it. It could strike them at any moment. But the riots, you know, it was all isolated in places that they didn't live. So that was fine. You could go out and congregate wherever you wanted.
You're exactly right, and that's the thing. Because I left a super chat, and one time you corrected me. I think it was the other day. I said the problem with these people is all they care about is they'll ruin everything and virtue signal so long as it results to money in their pockets. And you said, well, evidently not, because look at how much money they're losing and they're still doing it. And I thought, you know what, Devil's right. Let me think on this. And then I realized, you know what? It's not that they care about the money in their pockets. It's that they want to be able to live a sustainable lifestyle while gathering fame. They want to check all the right boxes. So as long as they can maintain the status quo and virtue signal, they'll do it. They would rather stay the same than increase their productivity. They don't want to increase the what term should I use? They don't want to put the work in to broaden the audience. If things stay the same, they're fine with it, as long as they can do their stupid virtue signaling crap. But then when they go back, when they start to lose popularity, that's when they start to panic. But not until it alters their lifestyle, then they come crawling back.
The reason why they don't particularly care if the audience isn't growing is because it makes them feel good. I suppose it's just why they do it in general, is it makes them feel good to put, this agenda in their thing. It's like, oh look, I did a thing. I feel good about myself now because I did a thing. Completely ignoring if there's actually
they want to be in a position. You know what it is, Shiny? I think they want to be in a position where they can just go onto their computer and type a message and have lots of people see it and hit the like button. And the moment that starts to be under fire, then they come crawling back. They don't care how much money the company loses because they can still get up and do that in the morning. They don't care about how the little guy feels. They don't care because how we feel doesn't impact them until enough of us feel that way to where the amount of likes they get starts to lower, and then they start to panic, and then they come crawling back. That's what it is. It isn't that they're worried about the money in their pocket. It's that they're worried about maintaining the status quo. So they're willing to sacrifice other people's jobs, other people's money, other people's escapisms. But then the moment it affects them, that's why they came crawling back, because now they were losing their jobs. It was okay to lose money as long as they weren't the one that was paying for that lost money. At least that's what I think.
Yeah, pretty much. It's not a problem until it's their problem.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Exactly.
Alexilo, what's your two? Don't let them near Kuroko from Index or Yala Fate. If it's famous, if it's popular, nothing is safe. Unfortunately, no matter how small it is. I mean, they're trying to replace Columbo. They're trying to get a female Columbo now. See, Nathan Brake, what's your two? The new currency is social points. That's what it seems like. The new currency is no longer money, even though it still is. But to them, the new currency is likes and retweets. That's new currency.
Yeah, like one thing that you've probably figured out by now is pretty much my weakness when it comes to articulating myself is I have a hard time simplifying my statements into like really short sentences. I'm honestly really bad at that. That's why I should usually try to write things down.
No, it takes practice.
Yeah. That's kind of what I'm doing right now. I'm just practicing.
Let's see here. Let's see what Doomcock has to say. Oh, and you get a new mouse and a new computer. All right, come on. Tap double click.
And F-bombs for those with the attention spans of severed baby heads. I have never personally seen anything as relentlessly stupid, as pathetically inept, as viscerally revolting as Star Trek Discovery and Star Trek Picard. With the announcement that Star Trek Picard was renewed for Season 2, it appeared that all hope was lost. But that was before this emergency that cannot be named on YouTube laid the stock market low and reality came knocking at the door to Viacom CBS headquarters with a pocket full of long-term financial obligations coming due that drained their coffers. We live in interesting times, my friends. What I'm about to share with you has been sent to me from one of my key sources, who claims that before they presented me with this information, they had it confirmed with at least 2 independent sources themselves, and that's why, after sitting on this information for a while, I've decided to present it to you with the following disclaimer. What I'm about to share with you is information that I cannot independently verify, and therefore you should absolutely regard this as unverified rumor, and you should take it with a grain of salt. That said, my source informs me that Viacom CBS is badly in need of funds. For a wide variety of reasons, reality is compounding on the door at CBS. Despite claims that Star Trek Discovery and Star Trek Picard have been successful for CBS, the facts speak for themselves. Neither Picard nor Discovery have inspired licensees to get on board. There's been a dearth of Star Trek merchandise in stores for years now, and longtime fans of the franchise have been alienated by the stunningly bad scripts, the dark tone Kurtzman has imposed on the shows with F-bombs.
Can confirm. Can absolutely confirm what Kaka said. Yeah, as a Star Trek fan, being pretty fed up with all this nonsense they're shilling out these days on CBS. What was it called? Star Trek Diversity, was it called? Discovery. And Star Trek Picard.
I mean STD.
Yeah, STD. Very, very accurately named series, if you ask me.
Severed baby heads and gouged out eyes, and the hideous ship and costume designs that resemble twisted parodies more than loving tributes. By all outward appearances, at the very least, Star Trek is not the profit center it once was. Compounding the financial difficulties this fundamental attack on Roddenberry's optimistic vision of humanity's future has imposed on Viacom CBS, the stock market has not been kind to the newly merged company this year. The decline in stock price beginning even before the plunge related to the current emergency. And now Viacom CBS is rumored to be facing some hard fiscal choices. Evidently, the merger of Viacom and CBS was approved on the condition the newly merged company remained fiscally solvent, and so, in light of the current financial situation, some steps may need to...
Let's see, Bedroom Bunny, why do these companies insist that their shows are doing well? The BBC lies about Doctor Who, CW lies about Batwoman, now they're lying about Star Trek. It's because they can never admit defeat. And we see this a lot in the Marvel comic book industry, where your boy Zach points this out very well. And usually it comes in the terms of they start off with a series. They give like an SJW character a series, like maybe the Ugly She-Hulk or something. And of course, inevitably, it fails. So instead of saying, "Oh, it failed, we're going to cancel it, and we're going to call it defeat," they call it a victory and say it was always supposed to be a mini series the whole time. And yeah, that's why it just kind of ends on no note at all. This kind of she beats a bad guy, walks in the sunset, end. So they turn these defeats into victories. It's kind of like a propaganda tool. Ramesses II used to use that too. There was like a very famous battle that he lost, but if you read his side's account on it, it seemed like a huge victory. Because if they admit defeat, then they admit that their side is not winning, and that the fanboys were right. The big dumb fanboys. That'd be the admission.
Course correction to appeal to big dumb fanboys.
Yeah,
they're articulated.
They can't appeal to the big dumb fanboys. They can't do it once, which is why they really hate it when movies like Sonic bend the knee to audience members, because their whole idea is powerful. The whole movement is powerful. However, it relies on complete 100% solidarity. So if there's one person without stepping out of line, there's one person stepping out of line, there's one weakness where they have to admit defeat, that it proves to the world that they are actually in the wrong, that when they say everything is fine, it isn't. And the fanboys, the toxic fandom as they like to call us, we've been right the whole time. So they can't have that happening. They can't say that they're failing. They can't say that Star Trek is failing. They can't say that Doctor Who is failing. They can't say that Batwoman is failing, because if they do, in their minds, they're admitting defeat to the enemy. The very factor of their loss, their failure, is admitting defeat, is admitting that the fanboys, the toxic fandom, has been right the entire time, and they can't demonize a so-called toxic fandom if they've been proven right time after time after time. If they've been proven admittedly right time after time after time. So if they don't come out and say it in front of the cameras, they don't come out and say it in front of the media, then officially, the toxic fandom are just that, just crying about things that aren't happening. They're basically just gaslighting us into believing, into tricking the media that, or they're giving assurances to the media that these shows are fine, that everything is fine behind the scenes, and not burning down to a cinder. So that's basically it. It's they can't admit defeat. They can't, not even once.
Pretty much, and I think Nathan Brake kind of hit the nail on the head earlier when he said that the social points are sort of the new currency over there. Just so long as they don't have to make sacrifices for those social points.
Well, I also think it's because they see it as a victory that the show even exists. That we have a little fat woman.
That's such a low bar.
Itself.
That's such a low bar. I mean,
that's how they see it, because to them it's so rare to see diversity in movies and shows, even though it's always been a thing. But to them, it's just a victory in itself that they even got to make it. So.
Yeah, but they already get to make it, so you may as well make something good. It's already a given. You get to make whatever you want right now. You already have victory. Now make something good to celebrate it. You've been given the resources to put whatever you want on that TV screen. Why does it always have to be this hectic gay sex? I'm sorry, I can't get over it. I just can't get over it.
You're implying that they have the skills to make something that's good.
Yeah.
Oof.
To be taken to ensure the newly merged company will not be broken up again. My source claims that for whatever reason, selling Simon & Schuster has proven to be undesirable or unfeasible. Certain financial obligations came due for Viacom CBS that left them strapped for funds. The stock value continues to be problematic even beyond the scope of the current emergency situation, even though the stock has risen somewhat from its precipitous low. It still remains about half of what it was 6 months ago. And thus, CBS is seriously discussing the necessity of selling their one-time crown jewel, the Star Trek franchise, according to my source. Indeed, my source goes as far as to say, in their view, and in the view of their sources, selling Star Trek is actually a probability at this point. Why is this potentially an attractive option for Viacom CBS? Because the Kurtzman-Abrams Trek experiment has been an expensive and unprofitable enterprise for CBS. STD and Star TP have both proven to be extremely expensive shows to create, and it has not paid off for CBS as they hoped it would. Indeed, in a recent Forbes article discussing Viacom CBS's financial problems, the Star Trek franchise has not even been mentioned as a possible asset. In the past, the solution to the Kurtzman Star Trek problem has been to double down, renew more seasons, throw more money at it, announce series that will never happen, and deny there are any problems. But now...
Yeah, deny, make new series, and claim victory, even in the face of defeat. See, Nathan Brake, thank you much for the 5. I'm with you, Demon. I've become less LGBT tolerant because of these people. That's the unfortunate side effect of these things. Is people that are actually doing more harm, infinitely more harm than they are doing good.
You're actively making me care less.
They're tearing down the tolerance that was there. They're not making more tolerance. They're tearing down the tolerance that was already there. It's kind of like they had a fence that was already existing, and they're claiming that they're going to go build better fences, but they just go over there and just tearing down the old one and not replacing it in any way. As basically the people are doing. Well, all the while claiming that they'll eventually be putting up new fences eventually. Not good at all, but that is what's happening. Unfortunately, these people are so unlikable, so rage-inducing, that everything they touch people hate with such a fierce intensity that they tend to fail, and the opposite effect kind of happens. Like whatever they want you to love, you tend to hate. Whatever they want you to do, you tend to not do. Whatever they tend whatever they say not to do, you tend to want to do. Like I've never seen Gone with the Wind, but the moment they said cancel Gone with the Wind, I want to see Gone with the Wind. I bought it. I bought the movie. I ordered it from Amazon.
Because they're so out of touch with normal people. They're so out of touch with people that have to go out and work a 9 to 5 and interact with other people. All they know how to interact with is Twitter.
they know how to get daddy's money, and they know how to tweet.
Yep.
They know how to save space.
That's pretty much
it. See, Matthew J. Nimno. So, who wants to start a GoFundMe to purchase Star Trek? Modest goal. There's a couple of 100 million. Yeah, let's purchase Star Trek, guys. Let's purchase Star Trek, gang.
Isn't it easier just to make our own Star Trek?
Yeah, it'll be a lot easier.
At this point, yeah, do a Seth MacFarlane. It would cost you less, and you'd have that money to actually put into it if you, like, if you weren't spending the money on buying the franchise.
I think it'd be pretty easy too. Just get together and write some stories and put into some sort of production.
Mm-hmm.
And see, not liking gay people because some of them are overbearing is pretty stupid, to be honest. Yeah, it is. It's very unfortunate. It's very unfortunate, but that's what I've been seeing. That because of these people that they become they're so unlikable that they're actually doing more harm than they're doing good. There's more hostility now than ever before. They're tearing down the fences that were there instead of building new ones. They're tearing down the bridges that were once there instead of building better ones. It's very unfortunate. And there's actually a book that's on this phenomenon called "Please Stop Helping Us." It's called I think it's by a black author, and it was by the and he basically, the book, I believe, is about asking white liberals to stop helping the black community because they're just making things worse because nobody likes them. Nobody likes these white liberals telling everyone what to do and preaching to them. It's the same effect, the same phenomena. Well,
because you know what it is. You're exactly right. It's weird white people that have the resources to do whatever they want, and then they tell middle class people how to live, and they don't have to live with the consequences of those statements. But we do. Because that's our culture.
It's very unfortunate too, because I mean, I saw a lot of tolerance, and then where I saw tolerance, now I see hostility. It's unfortunate, and they're the ones making it. They're saying they're touting that they're there for tolerance, they're for building bridges and stuff, and celebrating differences. But everybody hates these people with such a fierce intensity, as I said before, that whatever they tell you to do, they want to do the opposite. You all just instinctively want to do the opposite.
Because that's often what they do.
Yeah, it's very unfortunate, but I think it's I heard about a book, and I think it's detailed in the book. Please Stop Helping Us. And it essentially covers that phenomenon. Very unfortunate. I wish it wasn't the case, but that's why we mock these NPCs. So once these NPCs and SJWs stop being taken seriously, the tolerance that they claim to preach will be built, will be made. I'm pretty sure of it.
It's just all these things. These people, they don't know how to do anything other than tear people down. Like, I love the community that we have on YouTube right now, because it's pretty much the exact opposite of what they do. Like, the way you show Doom Cops videos and Smudboy comes on, everyone's promoting one another. Comicsgate, everyone's promoting one another. Indiegogo, everyone's promoting one another.
Yeah, it's a brotherhood. It's tolerance. Here is tolerance.
Down. They tear people apart to build, whereas we're building each other's towers. That's how it should be.
Yeah, here it's tolerance. It's tolerance over here. I mean, there's a...
It isn't just tolerance, it's encouragement.
Yeah. I mean, there's so many people from so many backgrounds in these communities, and everyone likes each other. Everyone tolerates each other. Everyone hangs around with each other.
I'm going to give you a perfect example. Because you know how basically their argument is politics over entertainment.
Right.
And if you don't agree with their politics, then you get shut down, right? So here's the thing: we're entertainment over politics, but if your idea of entertainment differs from ours, we still promote you. Like, remember when I said that I really like The Hobbit?
Yeah.
And you guys didn't tear me down for liking The Hobbit. You were like, no. You know, it's fine that you like The Hobbit more. And you encouraged it. You encouraged me for that. So
hell, what happened yesterday on the Smudcast when, half of us liked the Avatar Last Airbender and the other half didn't? It's like we didn't tear each other down for what we liked and didn't like.
And that's what
we just said, I like it. We gave a couple of reasons, and they said, I don't like it, and they gave a couple of reasons, and we just kept going on.
Like, at worst, it'll be just like a friendly debate, because I don't really care if you don't like the Avatar Last Airbender. I like Avatar Last Airbender. I don't really care if someone else doesn't.
You don't need to find any kind of you don't need someone else to like something you like to basically verify it or get any kind of what's the word I'm looking for?
Validation.
Validation. Yeah, you're not looking for validation in other people liking what you like.
Exactly. And I think that at the very least, we have.
I showed the little Star Wars: The Clone Wars because it's something which I like, and I said, "Hey, look, I like this thing. Do you want to see it?" I don't care if he likes it or not. It's just, oh well, he happened to enjoy it as well.
It's cool if you do like it.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It's okay if you don't. It's cool if you do.
Come from anywhere. But politics.
However, if you like the sequels, then I'm sorry, we can't be friends.
But that's the thing.
You've got bad taste, and I don't want to be your friend.
Yeah, that's where you draw the line. You gotta draw the line somewhere. Okay, you gotta draw the line somewhere. If you like the
you're drawing the line on politics.
Drawing the line here and no further.
The line must be drawn here and no further. Okay,
But that's the thing, though. It isn't an anti-entertainment thing. That's an anti-politics thing. That's their thing. That's them being political. That's why we don't like it.
Especially the Last Jedi. The Last Jedi is very political. I'm pretty sure that's why it's like a weird group that is.
That's why we don't
fanatically devoted to the Last
You
Jedi.
know, attacking fans. Calling us all Russian bots. This, that, and the. Well, I have a question. Why the fuck would Russians care about Star Wars enough to make coordinated bot attacks?
Yeah, you're not even a
What?
Russian bot. You're a Russian clone.
I mean, I could understand, like, maybe the election. I mean, I don't think it was Russian bots in the election, but I can understand what kind of possible motivation there could be. But
I think John
Star
Reddick
Wars?
put this right here. John Reddick put it perfectly right here. He says, "I don't think white guilt is a real thing because these people don't really feel guilty. They just use it as a club to signal how much better they are than other white people, and then we're the ones that have to live with the consequences of those statements."
I really hate the expression white guilt because a lot of Americans are white people, but also here in the Scandinavian, we are white people. But I don't see us as the same race because there's so much difference. So I really hate that just oh, you're all white people. It's just like, oh, hell no, I am not.
yeah, there are different. There are different races of white people that.
Different white people.
Yeah.
It's very the French white people are very different from the Spanish white people. They're different.
Very different.
Yeah. And see, Nathan Brake, they at 5. They also don't understand American attitude. It's pretty much you, but you can't tell me what to do. So we do the opposite. Yeah, I mean that's why it's really difficult for them to really sway the entire populace of America because the attitude of America is built on, I'm not gonna do what you say. I'm doing my own thing. It's America.
Just quickly respond to was it DGM Voices, who says Clone Wars might be dead to me after Filoni exposed himself. And the thing is, I don't think that. Just from what he said, it's ruined the Clone Wars show itself. And keep in mind, this is only like him saying a couple of things which are a bit iffy, and he hasn't done anything else other than that one, thing at a women's conference that would make me lose faith in him.
The thing about stuff like that, I think it's important to be flexible. Otherwise, you won't like anything. Like, if the story is good, let yourself like it. You know what I mean?
I also separate the creators from like my enjoyment of something.
Oh yeah, one thing that used to be tough for me was separating the actors from the characters.
Mm-hmm.
My favorite characters are played by actors that I can't stand. But now I've grown flexible and mature enough to say, okay, I think that he performed rather well, even though I think he's a dick. Maybe the actor's a dick, but the character isn't. So it's kind of the thing
You're
is
doing it wrong. You have to cancel that actor. You can't have that. Cancel.
Jennifer Hale is responsible for some of my favorite characters, and honestly, she's one of the most talented voice actresses in the industry. And I followed her on Twitter for like a day, and I instantly regret it, and I just turned it off.
So countless stories.
I can still separate her and Ayla Secura and Femshep and Rilo Chuchi and all these other characters.
You have to, otherwise, your childhood is ruined. Like, I love Dragon Ball Z, and look at how sick Funimation is. They're sick.
What?
They're sick.
Let's see here. KH, they went to 5. Hi, LD. Would you go through the part where Japanese roasted the racist tweet? Would it be nice content to go through? I'll see if you can find it. It's somewhere on my Twitter. Well, that was pretty brutal. The Japanese, they don't suffer any fools. Nathan Break, they mentioned too. White guilt is a new white burden. Yeah, it kind of is. These people are so weird. They brought back the white man's burden, and they want to bring back segregation. That's how weird people are. That's not even an exaggeration. That's literally what they've stated that they want.
What they want to do is they want to bring back segregation, but make it so that minorities receive the superior treatment instead of the other way around, like it was back in the 60s or what have you. And the thing is, normal people don't want segregation at all.
Yeah, I think we learned a lesson a long time ago that segregation is kind of, completely wrong. I don't know why they think it's going to be good now because it's going to be opposite. It's not. Still bad, guys.
So,
I think that Shiny wanted to say something.
Just kind of expanding on what Zofrats was saying. So, like the whole idea of like white guilt, or like this idea that you should feel guilty for something which has been done by someone of the same race as you, but you haven't done yourself. And it kind of extends to it's like, oh, but your ancestors had slaves. Like, my ancestors didn't have slaves. I'm English. Not even all Americans had slaves. So why is it all Americans that have to pay for something? The rich people are the ones that had slaves.
Especially since the people that owned slaves lost everything. So what do we owe? Like the ones that owed slaves, they already lost everything. Thanks to Lincoln, they lost everything. So there's nothing left to be paid.
And another thing is that England,
you know what I mean?
England did partake in the slave trade. However, we did not have slaves in England itself because we didn't need them. We already had workers. We didn't need to import slaves. And most of the black people we have here were from countries which we invaded into our empire. And when we let them go from our empire, we said, hey, look, if you want, you could come back to our country and make a life for yourself. And many did. And it was so all the black people here are here because they wanted to be here. They weren't forced to be here at all. It's kind of so I don't know about Scandinavia. Did Scandinavians have any reason to have quotation marks white guilt?
Well, we did trade a lot with slaves, but we didn't have them ourselves. We prefer to take in young children for poor families and train them instead. So we kept them as house helpers, but we did, sail. We did earn a lot of money by sailing slaves to the States.
Let's see. Nathan Break, they mentioned 5. The Scandinavians do have white guilt. 1066. Never forget the monasteries. I guess there's.
But it was what I was trying to say was that the idea that you should be guilty for something which you haven't done.
And don't support anymore.
Yeah.
It's so insane.
Or never supported at all.
I mean, they knew slavery was wrong even back then. It was just very, a lot of tension there because they had a lot of stakes on politics, and so Lincoln didn't want to say. Lincoln basically said, "We're not taking away your slaves." Okay, so they tried to balance it out between, all right, we're going to get a new state in. Are you a slave state or a non-slave state? Okay, non-slave state, and then the slave states need to get another state in to balance it out. That's what they kind of have a balance of non-slave states with slave states. But there was high tensions. It wasn't just like slavery was accepted everywhere. It was there's a lot of opposition.
It's all been grossly oversimplified, grossly oversimplified. It's just. It's horrible that just how twisted history has become now.
You know
just,
why? I've heard this. This is one thing that I've heard, is that a lot of things that we look at in history with modern textbooks a lot of these authors rely on propaganda from that respective time as a reliable source of information. So it would be much like the equivalent would be like if far in the future, like in the 3000s, if people were examining the 2000s, and then they were to look at the election of 2016, and they only read things by radical leftist journalists for their historical input of information. It's pretty much that. They're relying on propaganda from the time period that they're analyzing.
Yeah, history's written by the victors.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's not just history's written by the victors, because the evidence is, and the history is plain for everyone to see, that England itself did not keep slaves within its borders. It's only the trading and trading around in the marketplaces and such, which had, which we exported to, colonies and exported to America because they were paying for slaves. So it's there to see. Hell, you can the difference in England and America. You can go to America and you'll see, black people everywhere, and that's normal. But over here in England, you can go to a very rural area, not rural, it's a very in the middle of nowhere area, somewhere in the country, and you can pretty much walk in a town which will have maybe 10 black people, and that's just because of that's the natural diversity of them coming to England of their own choice, or at least their ancestors did, and not the fact that they were forced in mass to come to this country by being slaves.
And now if a radical leftist goes to that area and sees 10 black people, their automatic immediate assumption is, oh, clearly they have policies in place that make it difficult for black people to exist here. It's like, no, that's just the natural diversity of the area.
Yeah, it's because obviously you didn't need slaves in a small market town in the middle of the countryside. So obviously they never brought them here. And when they were let go, they weren't let go here because there was nothing to let go.
It's like these people don't understand that people have free will and a choice.
Let's see.
Everything's so black and white in their eyes.
The KH, I'm with 5, appreciate that. So my
Quite
skin is
literally.
yellow. That means I'm responsible for the Mongol invasion in China. China?
Yes, of course.
Yes. In their eyes, yeah, you would be. It's a guilt by skin color.
You should have yellow guilt for the Mongols invading China.
You bear the sins of your father in their eyes. To Nathan Break there, with 5, I am descendant of Romans, so I must be responsible for destruction of Gaul.
Oh yeah, I've got a Roman nose, so yeah, I suppose my ancestors did do terrible things.
I have a perfect example of the irony with these people. I recall taking a class on historical literature, and it was by this radical leftist woman. Of course, I didn't know that at the time, but I subjected myself to this class, and she was saying in the classroom how there was a tribe of people called the Igbo, and she said it's a shame that colonialism took away the unique faith they had then, and now they've adopted Christianity that's more similar to ours. So then I wrote a paper on it, and I was researching it. Yeah, I don't think it's a very bad thing that whites went over and changed their religion, because their religion had infanticide in it, and they believed in slavery. And we went there to get rid of their slaves because they weren't abiding by the abolition of the slave trade.
Another thing that
I'm sure that's a bad thing, and she didn't really know what to say. And she gave me a good grade on the paper because she just didn't know what to say. I think that's probably one of my favorite papers, because I got to just shut someone up that was saying these ignorant things.
Another thing I just remembered, that England went on like a 200-year crusade against slavery, just because like the people or the public didn't own any slaves, so they didn't have the racial idea that black people were just slaves. It was to them it was disgusting, and they eventually force the government's hand to say, "Hey, look, we're no longer doing this. We're cracking down on slavery, and we're making sure that the best we can that we're not using it within our borders, and we're trying to stop other people from using it as well."
Mm-hmm.
I see anything break. Thank you for the 5. Appreciate that. I'm descendant of that's the descendant of the Romans. I need to finish. A destruction of Gaul. Actually, approve of the destruction of Gaul. Caesar did nothing wrong.
Thing, like people, even like colonialism, people talk about it like it's such a black and white concept. But without colonialism, people would still own slaves. The slaves trade wouldn't have been abolished without colonialism.
So yes,
these people are stupid.
Yes, KH, you according to the SOW NPC logic, you are still responsible for the Mongol invasion of ancient China, and
I have a question. If you're a droid, does that mean you're responsible for the droid attack on the Wookiees?
yes, you are. You bear the guilt of your, not even your father, but
Clanker guilt.
yeah, Clanker guilt. Nathan Brake, you are still responsible for the destruction of Gaul because you are vaguely descended from Romans. And to back up my statement from earlier, I actually have that book. Oh, I've looked it up. It's called "Please Stop Helping Us: How Liberals Make It Harder for Blacks to Succeed." It's by a man named Jason Riley, and it says, why is it that so many efforts by liberals to lift the black underclass not only fail, but often harm the intended beneficiaries? Please Stop Helping Us by Jason L. Riley examines how well-intentioned welfare programs are in fact holding back black Americans. Minimum wage laws may lift earnings for people who are already employed, but they price a disproportionate number of black.
Are you all right?
Yeah, I just fucking need my desk.
I just heard it sounded like you were falling down the stairs.
No, I just need my desk, and it hurt.
So in theory, these efforts are intended to help the poor minorities in particular. In practice, they become massive barriers to moving forward. Please Stop Helping Us lays bare these counterproductive results. People of goodwill want to see more blacks' socioeconomic advancements, but in too many instances, these current methods and approaches aren't working. Acknowledge this is an important first step. So basically, yeah, Please Stop Helping Us is specifically, I wasn't being hyperbolic, it was specifically how liberals make it harder for blacks to succeed. And it's essentially, they try to do the right thing, but they do so much that it actually hurts the people they're intending to protect. And we see the same thing here, where they're trying to help, but they're doing it in such a way that it actually ends up hurting. And they're trying to make more tolerance, but they're trying to spread awareness or get you to tolerate more people or something like that. But they do it in such a way that the opposite effect happens. So all these policies, just like in that book, these policies are put in place to help the poor minority, to help those who are in need. And while it might seem like it does help, over time, it doesn't. Actually, doesn't help, and in fact, over time, actively hurts the people they're intending to help.
Yeah, I think a perfect example of that is the Me Too movement causing a lot of women to lose their jobs because people aren't comfortable hiring women because they think, well, what if this person makes some kind of accusation? Because the definition of molestation is no longer obvious. So they don't want to risk it. People don't want to risk their well-being of their company and the jobs that they're providing to their workers because they're concerned that they could compromise what they have. And then that's part of the reason why we don't have as many female workers as we could right now.
Yeah, I actually been to some job interviews where the interviewer says, well, around here we have a male culture, which is like keyword for that they have a very crude kind of humor. So it's kind of a keyword for you probably don't fit in here.
Yeah, and
it's like workplaces don't really know how to what to do with women because what if something happens and she feels offended and all that stuff like that happens.
Crazy feminists that women can't get a job. Normal women can't get a job because crazy women won't shut up.
It's kind of how it ends up being. I think there was something like that where they started complaining where they can't get employment because what was it? I think there was women weren't able to get dates or anything anymore because men were too afraid to ask them out because of this stuff. Of course, women
that's
women most affected.
That's what's happening.
The article, of course, said women most affected, but it was like essentially that women are trying to look for like dates and boyfriends and stuff, but no man wants to go out anymore because
Yeah, the
they
guy
know
locks
that.
his door shut when he sees a girl walk by. He's like, screw that. Nope.
Yeah, I forgot what article it was, but I saw that. It's like,
Because
nope.
look what these crazy people do. It makes you not trust people. It makes it very dangerous to socially interact. That's what it is. It's become dangerous to socially interact.
Yeah, you could say hi to someone, and next thing you know, you're in court for sexual harassment or something.
Yeah, yeah.
And so, Nathan Brake, thank you much for the 10. Here's the thing no one wants to admit. Slavery allowed us to industrialize fast. Without the cotton gin, we would not have anything we have today. It really accelerated everything. That's the unfortunate truth of the matter, is that there are things that, for example, remember that camp unit, that Japanese unit, that one that experimented on Chinese and American POWs. We actually adopted all of their discoveries, and because they made many breakthroughs in the human body, human condition, and medical discoveries through torture and like very unethical medical practices, like Mengele-style medical practices. But we kind of absolved the people from all of their crimes in exchange for all the research data, and we use it to save lives. But the thing is, we got that knowledge through nefarious means. At least we got that knowledge from people who use it through nefarious means.
Yeah. But here's the thing. What would be the worst sin? You know? The people that did those horrible things, or us getting rid of that research so now all those people died for nothing? I honestly think we would be the greater evil. Because now all those people died for nothing. At least if we abolish their, what they did in exchange for the information, now we can save people.
Yeah, it's a significant debate, and it's actually a Voyager episode where they had this guy who was a Cardassian, and he was like a Mengele character, and someone got sick. I think it was I forgot who it was. I think it was a Bajoran character, someone who was part of the Maquis. I think it was Lana. What's his name? B'Elanna. And Janeway actually, I think, used actually did use the knowledge they got from that Mengele-esque Cardassian character, and B'Elanna was very angry. She would rather have died than have that knowledge used to save her. So it was that interesting debate. It's one of the very few interesting. Well, I wouldn't say very few, but it was one of the more profound episodes of Voyager that really went back into the Star Trek's roots and actually examined that debate, because it is a question that people want to know.
Yeah, it's also mentioned in Mass Effect, where you have to. There's something wrong with the female Krogans, so they have tortured a lot of them to figure out a cure, and then you have to decide if you want to save that research or destroy the facility.
I think I saved the research. Was that in Mass Effect 1?
I think so. I think it's the final one, next to the final one.
I think I saved that research when I.
It's Mass Effect 2.
Okay.
It's Morden's mission.
I played Mass Effect 2 almost all the way through, so I think I saved the research in that one. Did DJ and Voices
because of Mass Effect 3, it's kind of good if you do.
We got a few super chats here. Let's read through them.
And so, DJ and Voices, thank you much for the 10. To contextualize my earlier comment, my problem with Filoni's comments is that he fails to grasp how his own work contradicts his words. I fear he won't maintain his characters moving forward. Yeah, that's kind of what the sense I got, like I said. Going by his words, it seems almost as if he's like the Mr. Magoo. Like all of the good work he's done was by accident.
Again, he seems to think that Ahsoka is completely independent, but imagine. Just go back to. I don't want to spoil anything to Season 7, but I'm just going to say right now, she wouldn't. It's kind of a spoiler that she survives, but she wouldn't have survived without Rex. Like literally, if it wasn't Rex, she would have just died, and that's not independent. That's the opposite of being independent. So having someone else save you multiple times and saving their life.
Like I said before, if you make a character that's independent, regardless of gender, it's not gonna be a good character, because it's nobody's independent completely. We are people who need people. Okay, everyone needs somebody. Even I like to use an example of John Wick, because he's a one-man army. He goes around. You send him into a building filled with guys armed to the teeth. He's going to be able to take them all out and walk out the other side. A few injuries, that's it. But he's not independent. He needs the help from friends. He needs the help from the Continental. He needs the help from allies he makes along the way. The friends he makes along the journey.
Yeah, that's kind of why at the end of John Wick 2, he was like, shit, just running out of the city.
Yeah, because he needs help. He even at his most desperate hour, like even when he's going on his own lone rampage, he's trying to. In the second one, where he's trying to assassinate D'Antonio, because D'Antonio has a hit out on him. He enlists the help of Lawrence Fishburne's character because he might not have full access to the Continental, but he needs help nonetheless. Even when he's excommunicado, he gets help from Halle Berry's character because he needs help. He can't do anything. He can't do everything on his own. And essentially, that's basically what it turns out to be. I mean, no one is independent. And when you try to make a character that's completely independent, that's your number one goal, then you're gonna that's the road down to the Mary Sue-dom, because
the moment that even when you make a masculine hero, they're most interesting when they're in a submissive and vulnerable position. Just look at Batman.
Absolutely,
you know what I mean?
absolutely.
They're most interesting. That's the apex of interest.
Because
Batman isn't even independent. Like, he has to rely on Alfred and Lucius Fox, and if later down the line, Nightwing and Batgirl.
The idea actually comes in over and over again, where when he gets the Bat family, he always wants to be on his own. He always wants to be solo because he doesn't want anyone else to get hurt. But I know Scott Snyder is caught under fire. I think he's one of the crazy ones. But Scott Snyder's books and the story he's written highlights that very well. There's an interesting The Court of Owls. The ending stories of the Court of Owls actually highlighted that very well, because he couldn't defeat all the owls on his own. He needed to rely on Robin and Nightwing and Batgirl and Red Hood to help save the other targets on the Court of Owls list of assassination hits. He couldn't save everyone on his own. He needed help. Batman was not completely independent. Now he can do a lot of things on his own. He can't do everything. He's not completely independent. He needs a man. Okay. he needs his Robins and his Batgirls. Okay, Batman is not an independent hero who don't need no man. He needs a partner. Okay, I see KH which 10. Actually, the old colonialism times are actually what set us to move forward as a human race. The world advanced faster than expected. We know that the Earth had a lot more continents. I guess so. I guess you could see it that way. Again, it's always an aspect of debate. Whether or not you use, whether or not something turned out to be good, was it
a lot of
good?
punishments also came from the Roman Empire, and the Roman Empire obviously did some terrible things. Like, look at the inventions in art and everything they had done, all like in the time that the empire had been around. In fact, when the Roman Empire left the United Kingdom to defend its own borders, the whole country pretty much collapsed back into kingdoms fighting amongst themselves, and all the inventions which they had brought with them and the artwork was thought to have been amazing, because it's like, how did they do this? Because they'd forgotten how to make this artwork. They'd forgotten how to make all these inventions because the Roman Empire just up and left.
Yeah, I remember there's like an aqueduct that they still don't know how they constructed it, because it was constructed out of gravity. Like, it's just, they cut the stones and placed them in a particular way and did it so well that it stayed up for many, many years, but it wasn't made with like any actual building tools. This is kind of the way they stack the rocks and stones, the way they cut them. Hatch 450 SX, much too. Hail Liddy D, hail chat, hail Zofrat, so hail Hatch 450 SX.
Not the other two guests. Only me. I like that. I take that as a point.
It's treason then.
Treason then. Let's see. RL, thank you much for the 50. That's very generous. Very generous. Appreciate that. I just showed up. Here is money. Keep doing what you do. It matters. Your work is our reward. Oh, fantastic. Glad to hear that. Thank you very much, RL. Appreciate that. Now I'm going to go ahead and do this. Let me see if we get this. Today's episode is brought to you by RL. not RL Dr. Crow. I don't know how that's in there, but just RL. This RL, like Jor-El. There you
It's
go.
brought to you by RL Crow of
Thank you very much, RL. Appreciate that. Very generous. Very generous.
I still love that it just covers up that whoever's at the bottom.
Yeah, hash
he
that's
can't see them. Just like we don't need them cover up.
It
could
go that
just
way.
move like the things to the side a little bit.
No, that's the bad spot when LD doesn't like you that much, put you in the bottom spot. The naughty corner.
The naughty corner. Nathan Break, they want you too. The Roman Empire did nothing wrong. Thank you very much for that, Nathan Break. Appreciate it.
Yeah, Roman candles weren't a problem at all.
Roman candles were awesome. Roman Empire. The Roman Empire is an empire with a lot of history. A lot of history. Matthew J. Nimnaw, aliens. Well, hello, Gary Stu. Greetings, random citizens. Well, hello, Gary Stu. Welcome, welcome.
Also, shiny.
Let's see here. Okay. Oh, what happened? Oh, Shiny's done.
Now I'm at the bottom.
The
I know
naughty
what
corner.
Where did Shiny go? Who joined us? Oh, Shiny joined us. I thought he was in here. So now you're in the naughty corner.
I just tore him to boost myself up. I'm just a journalist right now.
No, but now no one can see me.
Let's finish out this.
The rebellion has succeeded.
We spent like the last half hour like talking about like what's slavery and stuff. Let's see what Doomcock has to say.
Now, due to tightening of the purse strings, this is apparently no longer a viable option for Viacom CBS. My source characterizes their view this way, quote, "It's an easy decision."
I think we got on topic because Star Trek actually does all this stuff. I guess what we kind of came full circle with that Voyager thing, because Star Trek actually is the show that dives into is slavery and getting together and being one human race, that sort of thing. That's the beauty of Star Trek. That's why I love it, because it shows us tolerance. It teaches us that everyone has worth, everyone has value, regardless of where they come from. It all depends on the character, the strength of your character, and not the strength of your birth or where you're headed or what you're groomed to do. It's all the strength of your character, and that was so fantastic about Star Trek in the first place. Let's see, that's too an extra shiny out here.
Now, oh god, now I can hear myself. No, that's terrible. No, I tried to bump myself up.
Hold on, here, I'll do it for you. I'll do it for you.
Oh no, you did. Oh fuck. I was like, I had a genius strategy. I was going to bump myself up by making a duplicate, but then the problem was that I heard everything twice.
But you would never get above me now.
God damn it!
There you go.
I got a pity push. There we go.
Christopher Cole, leave the Romans alone. They had a hard time civilizing the world. You just don't understand. Everyone loves the Romans. Come on, everyone loves the Romans. They gave us Italians, like modern day Italians. Everyone loves modern day Italians.
Clearly, we fucked up. We can't unfuck what we fucked up, and it's going to cost us more money we can't afford to keep this IP, so best to sell it. According to my source, Star Trek Discovery has been canceled, or at the very least, the sets have been torn down. And anecdotally, my source informs me there's so little interest in JJ Trek, it took 3 whole weeks for a pirated version of that recent audiobook to wind up online. And what of Star Trek Strange New Worlds, formerly called Star Trek Enterprise, till someone who Googled Memory Alpha and or consulted someone who had actually watched Star Trek at some point in their lives.
All right. Okay, Nathan Break, damage to the 5. Without Rome, Britain would still be rolling a wheel with a stick.
I mean, for a while, we kind of did after they left, and then we had to build up society again.
Because I know Rome had to invaded Britain, and what Roman soldiers did was they kind of civilized everywhere they went. Because
I kind of find it funny. They just kind of built a wall over Scotland.
Yeah.
It's like, look, we don't want to deal with them, so we're just going to build a wall.
Yeah, that was funny with the Hadrian Wall. This part's excellent. That part's Scotland. We can just go ahead and cut that out. No one really wants that part.
It's like, oh, this part is beautiful. It's green everywhere. It's nice, great countryside. I could really see myself making a home here. It's like just turns around. It's like, not that part though. That part looks horrible and it's full of nasty smell. Smelly barbarians.
Yeah, not that part. That's Scotland. No one wants Scotland. It's a silly place. Let's just build the wall so we don't have to look at it. Let's see here. But yeah, the Romans. What Roman soldiers did was that they were also builders. When they were not fighting, they would build roads and brush up on buildings and stuff like that. So they tend to improve places where they went as a mode of operations. Verde, thank you much for the 5. Appreciate that. Technically, Rome gave us Fate's Emperor Nero, aka best waifu ever. All else is forgiven. So there you go. Rome is forgiven of any sins they may have committed because they gave us the best waifu ever. Man in Hades, Rome just rebranded. Yeah, just rebranded. Fantastic.
Ow. Now I know how that feels, Shiny. Ooh, happened
Did
to
you
me.
knee your desk?
Actually, I bumped my elbows into my desk.
Oh.
Oof.
Hurting yourself.
One second. Let me just kick my desk again.
More nonsense can be dangerous, a pretty dangerous thing.
I swear furniture kills more people than guns.
It's more just we're sitting in one position for a while, and I have to keep moving about so my legs don't feel dead.
Yeah, and then it's like, ah!
Hey, there's already a series called Star Trek Enterprise. Huh? Who knew? Well, Star Trek fans knew, but never mind. I have been informed that Star Trek Strange New Worlds was nothing but a pitch to try and interest investors, and that's all. From what I've heard, they never had the funds to make the show, and this was all a Hail Mary pass at getting anyone, to invest in one last shot at success.
Netflix doesn't even want Star Trek
Fortunately
anymore.
for fans, and
I
unfortunately...
don't think Amazon Prime wants it either.
I can't really find it anywhere. I think it's on Amazon Prime, but I don't think Star Trek is really on Netflix anymore.
Discovery was so Netflix paid for the international rights for Discovery, and then when it came to Star Trek Picard, they're like, no, we're not paying for this. No, we're not having this. And then they ended up selling it to Amazon Prime for like a much lower price than what Netflix was previously offering for Discovery.
And say KH, so much to the 2. Appreciate that. YOLO, everyone. You only live once. Remember, chat. You only live once.
Yeah, Chekhov's antlers. The desks are organizing their attacks. Yes, our desks are radical leftists. Chat.
The desks are committing Order 66 on humans now.
Yep.
So let me just get my blaster
leave a secret hideout. I am told this investor pitch was sabotaged by the untimely appearance of Red Letter Media's Picard review extravaganza, which horrified potential investors who hadn't really understood the depth of Picard's failure. I am told that Amazon walked out of the meeting and that Amazon has no interest in paying for Strange New Worlds. I am similarly told that Netflix is likewise out of the Kurtzman Trek business. Indeed, my sources informed me that suddenly, confronted by the ugly truth of what they've done, Viacom CBS is freaking out. Reportedly, CBS has observed what AT&T has done with the Schneider Cut, and they are apoplectic, observing the reaction to the news that HBO Max will be releasing Zack Snyder's version of Justice League.
No one wants it. No one wants it. The Netflix walked out of the room. Amazon walked out of the room. We don't want to invest money in this garbage. Why do we want Kurtzman's version of Star Trek? It's an obvious failure. It's poison. Why would we want to buy poison? You want good stuff that it actually sells. Get the stuff out of here. So CBS is freaking out because of their own poison that they injected into their own franchise. That's fantastic. That's exactly what should be happening.
The original Star Trek is such a sophisticated show, And
this new stuff is. It absolutely is.
New stuff is awesome.
Again, in the pale moonlight and the siege of AR something, forgotten what the fuck it was.
Duet.
the siege of a something. Like those were some of the best episodes of Deep Space Nine.
And Duet,
like
Duet was fantastic.
There's so many episodes which you just forget, like in the Pale Moonlight, where it's about I forgot what's the kid's name again? Not Jake Sisko, the other one. Nog. Yeah, it's like Nog having to come to terms with if it says if he can be hurt, then he can be killed, and like he's coming to grips with his morality, and that's what he's really been struggling with this entire time. He's afraid.
And never forget the magnificent episode.
There was so many like what was it, veterans which watched that episode and wrote into the show that said, you know, I really related to Nog, and I love the character of Nog because of just what they've been through. And honestly, it's quite amazing. It's so many great characters and great episodes that you can't really list them all off. You just have to remember this. Oh, that was a really good one. Oh, that was a really good one too.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of them. A lot of good episodes. That's why DS9 is my favorite Star Trek series. But even TNG had so many classics. Also, even the original series, so many classics. It was such a sophisticated show at one time. Yeah, a little cheesy. It was a little cheesy at times. Sometimes it's very, very cheesy. But you know what? Sometimes that's part of its charm. Okay, and sometimes part of its charm is being a little bit cheesy. You can take it. But when Star Trek was great, when Star Trek was at its best, really, really running with its ideas of exploring, ideas humanity will one day face.
New world.
Yeah, Strange New Worlds. It was exploring these ideas of Strange New Worlds. It was really coming into its own. It was really, really, really well. That's when it was really shining. And cheese aside, when Star Trek was at its best, it was really, really at its best.
One line that always kind of rings with me is when Sisko says, the problem is Earth. Earth lives in paradise, but for these colonists out here, they don't live in paradise. It's easy to be a saint in paradise.
Yeah, that's one I keep coming up with, because these weirdos, the NPCs, they always say, they always try to judge you from their ivory towers. Like they try to judge people from their actions, people from today all the way out back in the past. The thing is, they live in luxury these days. They live in a world of miracles and abundance. Okay, it's easy to judge someone from your own standards if you live in paradise, and that's why have you ever seen Rambo? Not Last Blood, but the one before that. I think what is it called? This is called Rambo. One where he's like escorting a bunch of missionaries into Burma, and they're all very, very hardcore anti-violence. And then this guy, the guy who's like the most hardcore anti-violence, at the very end he starts killing people because out of survival. So it's very easy to judge someone from your ivory tower. It's very easy when someone else is doing all the work for you. But it's very easy to be a saint in paradise. But once you step out of paradise and you enter hell, can you still keep your morals? That's the main question of Star Trek.
Does a vegan stay a vegan after they're trapped on an island where they have to hunt for food?
Exactly. That's the question of Star Trek. That's the whole thing that brings the drama and the intrigue of Star Trek, is that Picard, for example, he's a very moral person. He's a very virtuous. Yeah, he has his flaws. He's a little rough around the edges, but he's at his core, he's very moral. That's why I like Picard so much. But Picard is not the interest part of TNG is not a moral man like Picard walking around on Earth where everything's fine. It's Picard taking his morals to the edges of the galaxy, to brave new worlds, to where his morals will be challenged on a daily basis. And the true test is, can his morals survive? Can he keep to his principles in a place where they're not being respected, where the aliens he's dealing with don't see the same way he does?
I think one of the biggest missed opportunities is in Voyager is the Equinox episodes, where you have this comparison of a ship which hasn't had a very nice journey through the Delta Quadrant, and they're actually having to do anything they can to survive, and Voyager does nothing but, at least Janeway specifically, does nothing but moral grandstand them.
Yeah, I was not on Janeway's side during that episode. I was on the Equinox's side because I understood them. Like, yeah, if you're the captain and your goal is to get your crew back home, and you have so many limited supplies, limited everything, and you don't have a reset button, you don't have the convenience reset button every week.
He says that my crew was starving, my bulkheads are fucking falling off. We had we hadn't had any dilithium. We hadn't eaten in 3 days.
It's very easy to be Janeway. It's very easy to keep your principles intact when you're riding around in a luxury cruiser like the Voyager. It might be a little bit harder, okay, if you're going around in a very small, delicate ship like the Equinox.
Voyager's like a fucking cruise. It's like a cruise liner. It's like, oh, go back to Earth. Everything's gonna be nice and easy sailing.
Let's see, KH, language of the 5. Appreciate that. Like a saying in chess, one wrong move, nullify 40 good ones. Yes, exactly. Exactly. And every move can count. Every move counts. Every move can lead you down the wrong path. And when you bring that back down to morals, right? It's one wrong move can lead you to a series of wrong moves. And it's easy to be a saint in paradise. Reads, it's easy to be good when the path towards righteousness is clear, and there's no other path to follow other than righteousness. It's a lot more difficult to stay righteous, a lot more difficult to stay the saint that you see yourself as when the road is obscured, when there's a fog blocking the way, and when there's several other forks in the road that you can take, and you don't know where to go. That's when your true morals are tested. See, Verde, thank you for the 5. The only correct Janeway is ruthless psychopath Janeway. Yeah, to me, that's kind of the correct characterization of Janeway. She's a ruthless, weird psychopath.
She takes her crew into a fucking nebula because she wants coffee.
Yeah.
Like, she puts her entire crew in danger and at risk.
Well, she needs her coffee shiny.
Because she needs her coffee.
For an addiction. She takes her crew into danger for an addiction. Now that's a captain. Imagine if a Starfleet captain took their crew into danger so they could get a heroin hit. That's essentially what she did.
There's coffee in that nebula.
There's coffee in them hills.
Hands. My source says, okay, CBS is freaked out at the moment. They were watching how people have been reacting to how AT&T have handled their launch of HBO Max. Actually listening to fan demands and concerns, they're building up so much goodwill, they have completely reformed their image and doubled what they expect in terms of signups for HBO Max. Now CBS is having a panic and is like, OMG, 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 what did we do? They begged us, we ignored them, and we burned every bit of goodwill. We lost so much money. Yeah, no shit, you dumbasses. Doomcock released a video over a year ago, an open letter to CBS extending an olive branch, begging investors to desist in destroying their own franchise. But as my source reports, CBS ignored the fans. What did we do? They begged us, we ignored them, and we burned every bit of goodwill. We lost so much money. That's what happens when corporations forget they are businesses and they start thinking they're social workers, political agitators, societal reformers. I wonder if your stockholders signed up for this, CBS. I wonder if your stockholders volunteered to sacrifice their profits and lay their investments.
And see, Loquacious Primate, Janeway judging the Equinox may have been a bit black and white, but the Equinox was torturing another sentient species. Yeah, that was kind of like the whole idea, the whole black and white, or the whole question of morality there. The Equinox was doing some pretty terrible things, but it was a question of why isn't Voyager doing those things? Why isn't Voyager bringing?
Well, no, another thing is like it is either you die, so you can maybe kill a couple of essentially people to save maybe 50 lives. What do you do?
That's why I empathize with them. I don't think they were. Of course, I don't think they were doing this right. I mean, torturing animals. Yeah.
If you, in a desperate situation, it's either you or them, and sometimes you have to pick yourself just to survive. Your crew is your responsibility. What do you do?
Yeah, that was the captain's idea. I forgot what his name was, but that was the captain's idea. Because maybe to the captain, maybe even to the captain himself, he was like, "Okay, I'd rather die than torture these animals." But it wasn't just his life; he had control over it. He had his whole crew to get home. So maybe he did a Cisco. Maybe he did a thing that he thought was horrible, reprehensible, and unforgivable. But he did so. He took on the burden on his own shoulders so they can get his crew home. That's explored.
Cisco, he says, "I can live with this. I have to live with this.
I can live with it." Yeah.
I've saved countless lives. I've saved countless lives, and all it cost was the morality of one Starfleet officer.
Oh my god, that's right up my alley. Now I'm excited.
Yeah, that's an excellent episode. Absolutely excellent episode.
I'm still on the original series, so it's going to take me a minute.
And the thing is that the whole plan is he tricks the Romulans into siding with the Federation against the Dominion. He tricks. That's the whole thing. That's what's the end result of the Pale Moonlight. He tricks an entire nation into joining them in a war. Every death from then on is pretty much on Cisco's head. But the thing is, he can live with it because he had to. He had no choice. Because if they didn't get the Romulans on their side, the Dominion would win. And he had no choice. Either you lose and watch more of your friends die every day, or you somehow get the Romulans into the war on your side. That's kind of what he was faced with.
On the altar of social justice warrior waste. Go woke, go broke isn't just a saying. It's a cliche, because it's true. Time and time again. They ignored fans. They mocked fans.
Cliches are only cliches because they're valid enough to
with
spawn
triple
endless
cereal,
repetition.
with Spock singing and laughing.
Now, what are you saying?
I said cliches only become cliche because they're valid enough to spawn endless repetition.
Yeah, I mean the cliches for a reason. Like tropes are tropes for a reason because they work. They're very satisfying. They're very desirable things to see in stories. See, Alex Halo, thank you much for two. Save the one for the many. Show up a lot in Fate.
Especially Fate Zero. Especially Fate Zero.
Yeah, we'll get there. Since we're done with Danganronpa, we've gone through 2 trials already in Danganronpa. So I think we have like 4 left or something like that. Let's see here.
A fool that persists in his folly will become wise occasionally, but will more often become broke. Netflix has washed their hands of Kurtzman Trek. Amazon wants nothing to do with it. Licensees have walked away from the franchise now, and fans no longer give a damn after they watched their hero Picard turned into JL, a pathetic old man stumbling all over himself to scrape and grovel to everyone for his privilege and inability to save everyone from everything, in a show that was more an apology tour than Star Trek. CBS, did you seriously think we wanted to see our hero degrade?
The CBS wanted to make Star Trek, and then they gave up. Like Picard did. How dare you not save us, Picard? You tried to save us, Picard, then you gave up. We could do it on our own, then you gave up. Picard is so terrible. It's a terrible show. It should have been great, but it was awful.
Braided, feeble, apologetic and beaten down, then literally killed and turned into a damn robot, all within the space of 10 minutes in the final episode. Picard shattered the hopes and dreams of a generation of Star Trek fans who paid for Star Trek and instead got a lecture by a bunch of fusty school marms afflicted with white guilt, utter ignorance of what Star Trek is, and an appalling lack of talent. What did you expect, CBS? When we extend an olive branch and you slap it out of our hands, we pick it up and we shove it up your collective ass. Or did you think fans are so feeble we would just keep taking the insults, the scorn, the abuse, keep opening our wallets like an abused spouse with nowhere to go? Nope. The sorry state of Star Trek right this minute is the direct result of a corporation stubbornly insisted on trying to sell people garbage they don't want. You wind up doing things like issuing press release after press release about shows that don't get made, shows that aren't funded, hoping to draw investment with positive press. It doesn't work. To sell something, you need a market for it. And the market for Star Trek is all but dead. This is what happens when you spit in the face of your loyal fans. I have said it from the start. Strange New Worlds would go the way of Section 31. Nowhere. So what's next for Star Trek? Is there any hope left at all? Even in its degraded state, Star Trek remains a potentially profitable.
Yeah, I think there's still a lot of life in Star Trek left. We've seen it's someone to do a right series, right? A correct Star Trek story. And I think you can revive Star Trek as it was. It's not unsalvageable. Like Star Wars seems to be almost unsalvageable. I mean, Star Wars still has life, so somewhat, but Star Trek also still has life, I think. We just need someone to rush in there and make it great again.
The question is if they will allow anybody to touch it now.
Yeah, that's the big question. Hopefully that one Pike series. I see Lucky Jinx still scared of the Pike series. I think there's like that's the whole new world thing, and no one wants to buy it. No one wants to fund it.
Pike series looked completely awful, and it's the exact opposite of the pilot of the original series.
Oh, the exact opposite?
It's the exact opposite. Watch the pilot of the original series, and you will see exactly what I'm talking about. He's not being held hostage by a teenage girl. It's the exact opposite.
Let's see here. Go ahead and yeah, I'm really it's not looking good for Star Trek. It's not looking good for Star Wars. Really not looking good for Doctor Who. But I'm really glad CBS is feeling the pain of their own mistakes, of their own choices. As the Equinox crew learned, choices have consequences, and CBS is certainly feeling theirs.
Not too bad. It is also the fans has to suffer too.
Yeah, that part's unfortunate.
If only it hurt them and not the entire fandom.
If only. But at least they're being heard, and that's a little compensation.
Yeah, the original Pike was fantastic. He was being held against his will by aliens from another planet, and they were trying to experiment on him by messing with his head and placing illusions before him. Mm-hmm. And they did the same thing with a female that was she was there prematurely before he got there. And what he was trying to figure out was how he can possibly escape. And what he eventually was able to decipher that they can't sense instinctual emotions like anger, for example. So he uses that to his advantage, and he's able to escape because of that, because he's able to tackle one of them as they're coming in to check on them. And that's pretty much how he was able to escape. And they were showcasing the desire of taking a couple of his they took one of his shipmates, I think 2 of them actually, and so they were just these 3 women that were kind of interested in him, but it was tempting for him to just give into the illusions, into their because they were trying to trick him into basically just being the Adam and Eve of that planet, because they wanted to just basically watch them, because they were these types of entities that were far beyond us. So they would just do it for entertainment, almost like it was a zoo. But so just by saying that, it's like, okay, clearly he was a very masculine role model for the audience. He escapes from captivity, and he's very desired from his female crew members. And they went the exact opposite route from that. Now he's being held hostage by a teenage girl. Are you kidding me? Like, he's able to break out of captivity from aliens, but he can't. He's being held hostage by a teenage girl now. Seriously.
Teenage girls are the most powerful beings in the universe.
And every
seriously.
These days.
And every female crew member does nothing but disrespect him every 5 seconds. So it's a complication of it.
So
where
bad.
He's just they're constantly fucking like dismissing him or like says, "Can you get off my ass, sir?" Like what?
Yeah, it's really stupid. Like, actually take the time to watch the pilot of the original series with Captain Pike, and you'll see exactly what I mean. I think they went out of their way to watch it and then undermine it. I don't think they didn't watch it. I think they did watch it and then spitefully undermined it by making him the exact opposite.
If we want, we could watch it here. I've got the link to the conversation.
Let's see.
That's fantastic.
Let me get this up here.
You know, because this is the captain. He's supposed to be well respected. He's supposed to be the guy in charge, and everyone just dismisses him and lambasts him.
And that's so weird. I can understand if you would do that in a comedy, but if they try to make a real show about a captain that's not respected by his crew, that just doesn't work.
It's funny how in a comedy like The Orville, or at least a parody, which has now become a lot more serious, the captain is like well more respected and more respectable than the actual serious series.
Because of course everybody should respect the captain. He's the leader. He's the boss. You don't piss off the boss.
Let's see. Okay, got it. Here we go. Check it out.
His ancestors were saved by Dr. Burn herself. It makes me think that these signals
Speculating about what the signals could mean or who created them is unproductive. Waiting around for these signals to provide us answers has proven to be a colossal waste of time.
I can't open this file. If I did, I'd be in violation of the rules, and my mother wouldn't like that.
There is precedent in Starfleet case law.
Burnham, break into Mr. Spock's medical file. I can't ask any of you to participate in what's clearly an act of disobedience.
Course heading, sir. Does feel like we should get moving. Like now.
It's like interrupt him in the middle of a speech. Who does that?
Yeah, it's like I forgot in the moment where Picard started addressing the crew. It's like if any of you want to, I'm going to disobey direct orders, and I'm going to go help Earth. So has anyone got a problem with that? If you do, I'll write it in my log if anyone protests. And then Data, after he's finished, Data looks around, says, I think for everyone I say, to hell with our orders.
Yeah, you don't interrupt the captain. You wait till he's done, and then
Because
you say,
these people have no respect for hierarchies.
And it's cringe, and it's like, because it's like, yeah, I feel like we should get going like now. It's like, what?
And the Michael person she's like Holdo. She's barely containing her rage against this guy. Like, why are you such a dumb man? Can't you just do things right?
It's like that clip we watched where it was like almost a Star Trek parody because of how terrible it was. It's like, this is the end of the conversation.
I know, but when you compare it to the original was so good. I was hooked on the pilot of the original series. I mean, it was like watching Ben-Hur or something. I was completely into it.
I just don't understand why they want to portray women as brute broads. It's just like, I don't aspire to be that.
They portray all women as cunts.
Then you're internally oppressed. You're internally oppressed if you're not a bitch.
Internal misogyny. The Gracious Primate. Thank you much for the 10. Appreciate that. They watched The Cage because it was the first thing they didn't come up with on Netflix. But it was it's the first thing that comes up on Netflix. But it was a pilot with Spock that not developed. They never got to the Menagerie, which used that footage in a two-parter. I remember the Menagerie. The Menagerie I remember. That one's that's the episode I saw, I think. So they watched The Cage because the first thing that comes up on Netflix. And I'm pretty sure they did no research. Like, okay, Pike's a guy, right? Let's put him in there. Pike, and I'm pretty sure they said
stupid.
Pike is like my dad. Let's torture the guy. let's rip all respect from the guy. Hey, that's my dad.
So stupid.
Take that, Dad. Like we're going to continue watching this for a little bit, and then every instance of Pike being disrespected, just imagine the writer just sitting back in relief, a nice drawn out sigh, sitting in relief that they have insulted their dad through Pike.
Thank you.
Now you get off my ass so we can get back to work.
Whatever Section 31 said, it's not prudent to trust them. You may think wrong.
Can you get off my ass so I get back to work? Said a teenage daughter to her dad.
I know, seriously.
As teenage daughter dialogue.
On the same team.
You have no idea what I'm thinking.
You're a ghost to me, Captain Pike. Until you're willing to do what I say. Exactly as I say.
So
as to what happens after that.
I would prefer we focus on our respective tasks for now and discuss the captaincy later.
Commander Burnham, on your mark. I wanted to thank you for following orders and maintaining our cover.
Release plasma from the nacelles. 3 bursts 5 minutes apart.
Thank you for doing what you're supposed to do. I really appreciate it.
What captain thinks to subordinate?
Thank you for doing your job. You know what you're told
what I
to
say,
do.
good woman.
Thank you for following my orders like you're supposed to. What captain does? When did Picard ever thank someone for following his orders?
So stupid.
Never, because he's a captain. He knows how to be a captain. If you're a captain, you don't thank your subordinates for following the orders that you gave them.
Well, that's what they're theoretically paid to do, but then again, there's no money in Star Trek, so maybe they just don't get paid.
I guess they wanted their dad to say thank you when they did something. When they finally obeyed you, Dad. Go ahead and thank me now. Okay.
Yeah, they want their dad to thank them for being successul.
Dad, you're dead to me until you do exactly what I say you do, exactly how I want you to do it. Okay, Dad?
When you put it like that, it just makes more sense.
So stupid.
Every single dialogue, every single line of dialogue is a teenage girl yelling at her dad.
This is just a dad that joined the school where his daughters go, and he's the principal now, and he's trying to get respect from them, and it's not working.
Pretty much. That's exactly what it is.
If you want to watch something good that's modern and pretty much has Captain Pike in it, just watch The Last Ship. I'd rather just watch The Last Ship.
The fuel. All due respect, sir. Need this fuel.
That wasn't a suggestion, Mr. Tyler.
Captain, every decision you made so far is about your guilt at sitting out the war. You're trying to prove your bravery at the expense of our lives.
That's enough!
Again, who says that? He's your captain. You follow his orders, okay? And the numbers, thank you for actually doing your job for once. Isn't something you should tell your subordinates when you're in charge. Yeah, it's not
It
really
reminds me of, like, you know, kids who like don't behave in school. When they finally do something like right, they get rewarded for it. It's like people who have done it right this entire time, like have never got rewards for, you know, doing something right because that's what they're expected to do.
Yeah, they follow the rules. So they don't get reward for all the rules, so they always follow the rules. But the one kid who decides to follow the rules one time gets rewarded because they never follow the rules, and then everyone's grateful. But I'm gonna go ahead and close the stream. We hit a 3-hour mark. I'm gonna close the stream here. So thank you everyone for joining me. Thank you, Zofrats. Thank you, Shasini. Thank you, Demon That Sword. Appreciate you joining me today.
Of course.
And thank you for having us on.
All right, no problem. And thank you, Best Chat. Thank you, Best Chat, for joining us today. Hope you all have at least an adequate time. And I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day. Now, we'll see you all next time.
And that's a wrap.